with Amrish, how Mata used to feed me, you will not believe me. I still remember those days. So I'm trying to engage myself in some kind of devotional service. And as you all know, that Hare Krishna weekend is basically, we are an organization where we train people to become a preacher. And since I've started doing this, I started realizing that there are more problems with me than what I knew. Not about only scriptural knowledge, it's also about the concept. It's also about how you deal with the people. It's also about how you answer questions. It's also about how you react. Because when you're a preacher, then probably everybody is watching you. And that is exactly what I was discussing yesterday, that preaching is not done for someone else, it is done for yourself. So even at this stage, after being, it's a wrong and it's an egoistic statement that I have been doing this for so many years. That's so useless, because I was reading Maharaj's book, this book, which has become my Bible now. Oh, how can I show this? Yeah. Okay. So what Bible or Bhagavad-Gita or whatever you want to call it, where Maharaj actually giving classes in different places and different countries and different situations and different kind of devotees, and he's sharing Realisations. So Amrish Prabhu very nicely shares all those transcendental mellows, which is philosophical statement, but it is probably a more background information here that what was behind it. So even now when I get confused, so in my whole life I have been that you go back to basics. Because if you go back to basics, you don't get confused. And this principle applies to everyone, not only to me, everyone. So go back to basics. And that's exactly what I do. So basics are very simple. And as we have been discussing that we are all in the same journey, in the journey of becoming a devotee. And we all do the same thing. We don't do that. It's not that somebody advanced is doing different things and somebody just have started is doing different things. We are all doing the same thing. It's only about how we do it and what is the intensity level and what is the quality of those devotional activities we do. Now, the kind of question devotees ask me, Amrish Prabhu, I have never thought that those kind of questions can be asked. That puts me really on the spot. Why devotees sing bhajan in temples in this way? Why they sing this before and sing after? How do I know this? How do I know this? Why they are doing this? And believe me, these devotees are very intelligent. They observe things very closely and they absorb information, and they are definitely looking towards all of us for guidance, because in my opinion, and we all will agree that Kali Yuga is progressing, times are becoming difficult. Now we got a COVID situation. I know we have more endemic in the past, like plague and Haja and malaria and whatnot, and millions of people died. But I think this COVID is probably a different story. And still, entire mankind is actually busy finding solution. And the more solution they're finding, and more variants come. So when I was reading Maharaj's book, and more I know about Maharaj, more I surrender, particularly how Maharaj actually faced the difficult times, because we all talk about the good times, what we faced. Even Srila Prabhupada, what we see, what he achieved from 1965 till 1971 on, but there is a lot of story, there are a lot of situation before all those past times Prabhupada started performing. Same with Maharaj. So I'll not go there, I'll quickly share my realization. And we all know that Maharaj always told us to apply this big concept. There's nothing new I'm going to talk about, we all know this. And that's what we just need to talk every day so that we don't forget. and we realize things. So Maharaj urged everyone that the preaching of Srimad Bhagavatam with emphasis on the practical aspect is the one and only way to mitigate the miseries of common people who are suffering from the material pangs. So Maharaj are very clear, this is the only solution, there is no other way. And same thing Prabhupada has been saying. This is an authoritative statement. If you don't understand or if you don't believe into this, this is our problem. But Maharaj is very clear and he gives scripture references also. And his instructions range from organizing one's own shaving kit, washing one's own clothes, to living a life without tinge of expectation from anyone. Maharaj firmly emphasized that without organizing our material lives in a perfect manner, there is no question of progressing spiritually. What a statement. What a statement. And this is one statement which is actually attracting people whenever I'm talking to. Because that's not the way actually Krishna consciousness is understood. That you have to organize, get your material life organized to get your spiritual life organized. And that is the one simple aspect, that if you are materially not satisfied, or if you're materially hankering, or if you're having material problem, and we have discussed this, if you don't have a satisfied mind, we cannot even chant properly. Forget about doing any other activity. So when I was looking back at what's happening in last few days, last few weeks, I thought that's a simple relation I should share. No, don't complicate it. And that's my relation for this week. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna, Avinash. Because it is very simple to follow Maharaj. That's why people find it very austere, especially me. It's very austere. Why, man? Why? You can't answer that thing. Wash your own clothes, do your own things. It's a different thing when you're alone. You have to wash your own clothes. But when you have got paraphernalia surrounding you, then how can you wash your own clothes? That is the best. Thank you very much for starting off. Hare Krishna.
What I understood from this means, as you say, right, time, place, and circumstances, preaching is done contextually. What Maharaj is saying here, that we should simplify our life, save our time, and don't depend on anyone. And if you depend on you, you complicate your life.
That's it.
Yeah.
Expectation should be zero. No dependence. Depend only on Krishna. Correct. Absolutely right. Hare Krishna. Okay, please continue. I like very much that Madhav and Shubhadra are sitting very nicely in front of the camera. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Wonderful. I remember one devotee was telling me, his children are very attached to Maharaj. So Maharaj was telling, he said, Maharaj, why don't you take my two children, with you? But Maharaj, wherever Maharaj is going, international travel for 1 year. So Maharaj told him, so for 1 year you want me to become a babysitter, is it? And what will you do? Of course, they ended up going with Maharaj for the year, for the half year or something, for a year, traveling.
We're looking at Subhadra and Madhav Prabhu, and I think the credit goes to parents, Prabhu. Yeah, how parents actually, particularly at this young age, yeah, credit goes to them.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji, credit goes to Amrish Prabhu and his training
No.
and all the devotees. Otherwise, we'll be doing like dancing here and there and and doing other things.
Credit goes to Prabhupada, even I would be dancing otherwise.
Yes.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
It certainly goes to the parents only. All good to all of you. Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji, this is the practical implementation of Guru Maharaj's instructions. That Maharaj always stressed on new generation, and for that we have to be serious. so that's why I want to get that calendar, Prabhuji. So Maharaj's instruction for every day is just hammering your mind.
It's coming. Calendar is coming in New Zealand also and India also. So whoever wants it, raise your hand. Okay?
Yes, yes. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay. Hare Krishna. Yes, we'll let you know. So, but if you're from New Zealand, let me know. We are putting a booking now. So you can give more. Abhishek Mondalji, you have to show your face, Prabhuji. You're raising a hand. Hare Krishna. You also want a calendar? Sure, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhuji. I want the calendar, Prabhu.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we have three here. The Sanjeev Prabhu, he's already. He's the one who started this whole thing. Sita Prabhu, Avena, and Abhiram Prabhu. Okay. In India, we've got more. So I think Divanshi wanted to have. You always said that. So we'll work with that. We don't forget things. We work slow. We work planned very nicely. We grind. It's an old grind that we do. Planning. Okay. Yes, please continue. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'll just give my realization. Thank you, Avinash Prabhu, for a very nice realization. My realizations from a certain segment of the purport which was shared to the Hare Krishna Weekend WhatsApp group. And the purport is from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 16, verse 23. Since it's the segment of the purport, I'll just recite the verse and the translation, and then the segment of that particular purport. So I'll just read the verse itself. Tatascha vabhrata snana vidhuta shesha kilbishaha sarasvatyam maha nadyam rejevyabhra evam shumam. So the translation, Vaishnava Prabhupada ki jai. Thereafter, having completed the ritualistic sacrificial ceremonies, Lord Parashuram took the bath known as the Avibhrata Snana. Standing on the bank of the great river Saraswati, cleared of all sins, Lord Parashuram appeared like the sun in a clear cloudless sky. So this is a context of which Prabhupada wrote this purport. And I'll just read the segment that I'm going to give my little realization on. Anyone in this material world, however careful he may be, must commit some sinful activities, even though he does not want to. For example, one may trample many small ants and other insects while walking on the street and kill many living beings unknowingly. Therefore, the Vedic principle of Pancha Yagna, 5 kinds of recommended sacrifice, is compulsory. In this age of Kali, however, there is a great concession given to people in general. Yagnahi Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedha Saha. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 11, Chapter 5, verse 32. We may worship Lord Chaitanya, the hidden incarnation of Krishna. Krishna Varnam Tvisa Krishnam. Tvisa Krishnam. Although he is Krishna himself, he always chants Hare Krishna and preaches Krishna consciousness.
Trisha Krishna. Means the body color is not like Krishna.
Tvisha Krishnam. Is that right? Cool. Okay. Although he is Krishna himself, he always chants Hare Krishna and preaches Krishna consciousness. One is recommended to worship this incarnation by chanting the Sankirtan Yagna. The performance of Sankirtan Yagna is a special concession for human society to save people from being affected by known or unknown sinful activities. We are surrounded by unlimited sins, and therefore it is compulsory that one take to Krishna consciousness and chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. So I actually found this point to be extremely important, but also a point that I was actually thinking on quite a lot. That, you know, obviously we know that the laws of karma act in such a complex way that any action that we do has a reaction. Now, we always talk about, you know, not killing, no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex, which is the 4 regulated principles. But actually, as Prabhupada mentions, there's so many things in our life that we do that hold negative reactions. So as Prabhupada mentioned, whenever you walk on a road, you trample ants. There's also references given where you breathe, even when in the ancient Vedic times, when you would be receiving water from someone, the germs in that would also invoke these negative reactions because you'd be ingesting those. And so the Pancha Yagna sacrifice was recommended to do. So the Pancha Yagna, I'm not going to go into what they are because it's obviously quite complicated and not necessarily the context, but there's 5 types of yagna, which is Ahuta, Huta, Prahuta, Brahmya, Huta, and Prasita. But what I really found interesting in the purport was Prabhupada's use of the word concession, and that for me personally, you know, it used to be very easy for me to think, oh yeah, you know, all we have to do is chant Hare Krishna, and you know, everything's fine, and etc. etc. But the word concession is super important because what does concession mean? You know, it's not something. It's a reflection of Kali Yuga. It's a reflection of our age of the 3 modes of material nature, especially passion and ignorance, and that we, you know, Krishna has given us a concession that we chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, and you know, remember Lord Krishna in that way. So for me personally, what I realized was that you know, it's very important for me to, in the context of this purport, it's very important for me to recognize the so-called unknown sins that you may be committing. You know, even if you're walking on the road, and you know, you have to recognize that, you know, there are certain karmic reactions that you're incurring, and so, you know, we chant, you know, in our minds, or you know, while we're walking. I would do that when I was walking to university, or commuting in that sense as well. But I would never think of it in that way, that, you know, while I'm chanting, I'm mitigating, or I'm doing it with the intention of mitigating these sins that are occurring. And this is a great, you know, mercy or great concession that has been given upon me, that I don't have to perform these ritualistic sacrifices, and that this, you know, by following the Achintya Abheda that of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, that this is a very easy and very, very merciful way of mitigating these negative reactions and, you know, curing the bondage of material existence. So this purport was a very, very special to me, because it held a great reminder, and it also provided me finally with, you know, some understanding of, you know, why it's so important, that why the Sankirtan Mahayagna is so important, and you know, us being in Kali Yuga, that we've actually got such a big opportunity on our hands. And also it reminds me that I must always be understanding of, you know, all the at least that I know of, that, you know, these karmic reactions are constantly happening, and thus then, if you can't control it, then if you chant Hare Krishna sincerely, then it cures you from that material reaction. So yeah, I thought this was a very nice purport, and that's my realization. Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you very much, Krishna Prabhu. Krishna Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada are the only personality who has implemented and taught the whole Vedic literature in a very simple way to practically implement it in life. Nobody has done it before that. That is correct. Hare Krishna. Please, please.
Yeah, that's actually very true, because when I searched up Pancha Yagna, I just thought, there were all these little articles about, everyone has to do these things, or as a Hindu or whatever, as a follower of Sanatana Dharma, there are certain sacrifices that, you should perform, etc., etc. But Prabhupada is, as you mentioned, he's the only person who's given a very practical and simplified. He's he's chewed everything, and now it's up to us to take from Srila Prabhupada's mercy and knowledge. So yeah, it's a very important point. Hare Krishna.
Yes, and that's why it is very important that you study and you teach. Study and you share. Rather than teaching, just to share. I'm sharing knowledge. Whatever I know, I'm sharing. Whatever I know, I'm sharing. Simple. Teaching means you have to be a teacher and master, and all the complication happens. People will say, who taught you? Who has given authority? You say, I'm sharing, there's no problem. Nobody will say anything. There's no problem. Don't become a teacher, become a sharer. You share your Facebook post, you share Prabhupada's knowledge, simple information, Prabhupada's teachings. Whatever you learn, share. And this is, Prabhupada says this, not me. I'm not saying this. And everybody can do it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I didn't write my realization. I was very busy in work, Prabhuji. But I was listening Guru Maharaj's lecture, and a couple of points I just want to share from that what I realized. Maharaj was sharing about the scriptures that been Maharaj was talking about the like a Christian scriptures and all those scriptures. The original message was pure, but it's been diluted over a period of time, and that's why we have to come to the unadulterated scripture, like Bhagavad-Gita, as it is. Srila Prabhupada gives the name as it is, so it's no contamination. The knowledge coming through parampara is uncontaminated, and at least we can read that Bhagavad-Gita and come to the Vedic realities. And then Maharaj was saying, otherwise we have to eat our sins, and because these nowadays those antibiotics, their name is my sins, different. Maharaj was saying that then the biggest one is teramycin, like tera mera, both my sin. So we have to eat our sins. So don't eat your sins. Maharaj was saying that come to the Vedic realities and chant Krishna's name. So wherever or whatever conditions we have, so we must. And another point Maharaj was saying, the listening. Our listening should not be contaminated, because as soon as we come outside in this whole world, in material world, listening is contaminated, and that's how our minds and everything was get contaminated. So if we listen to Srila Prabhupada, read Srila Prabhupada books, that also listening, and stick to that, then our consciousness will have some purity. So otherwise, we can't just totally shut off from the world. But the main point I realized that we should purify our consciousness every day by listening of Srila Prabhupada or Srila Prabhupada books or Guru Maharaj, those quotes, and something should be there. Yes, Prabhuji. So that's what I realized, the quick realization. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, yes. This is terror mercy, this is terror sin, biggest sin. That's right. Allopathic medicines are all my sins. Very nice, very nice. Actually, this about the sins is even in a Hindi movie, Bollywood movie, it has come. A surprise. I can tell you the name of the movie. The name of the movie is Yahi Hai Zindagi. Now, in that, there is this person who wants to become very rich. So he's a cook, halwai, sweet meat shop worker, and he buys a lottery ticket, and he has to answer questions. And based upon answering the question, he gets the money, and he will win. So he won. He got answers right. So with that money, he said, "I'm going to start my sweet meat shop, my own. I'm working for somebody. I'll earn my own. I'll start my own shop, a sweet meat restaurant." So he that night, his wife told him, "No, this is not right. You have got the intelligence. Krishna gives intelligence, so you must give this money to Krishna. Offer to him." He said, "What is Krishna? He's just a photo. He doesn't come. He doesn't do anything. He'll take away my money. You will take away my money and buy something else for him. Like lamp or all those things. And what nonsense! I want to use for my own restaurant. To start my." I said, "No, nothing doing." He gets very upset with his wife, and he doesn't. He takes away the money. She puts in the money in this altar. He takes away the money back. So and then that's it. In the night he's sleeping, and in the middle of the night he's woken up. So he wakes up and he says, "Hey, Krishna!" Krishna is standing in front of him. He said, "What?" He said, "What?" He said, "You look like." He said, "What is this drama going on? You're wearing all these things. I've seen you in dramas and movies. You're real Krishna or what?" He said, "Yes, I'm a real Krishna." He said, "Give me my money." He said, "What? Your money?" He said, "Yes. Your wife put this money on my altar, and took it away." He's saying, "First of all, I don't even know whether you're Krishna. I don't believe you. So do one thing. Now, if you're Krishna, then you go from here, this place, to that place without moving." He said, "Okay." So he was here, Krishna, and disappears and comes here and stands here. He said, "Hey, actually you went from here to here without doing anything. So you're Krishna." He said, "Yes, I'm Krishna. Give me my money." He said, "Not, I'm not going to give any money to you. This is my money." He said, I answered the questions. I gave all the answers. And I got the award, the winning award. So why should I give you the money? No. He said, Krishna said, "Nothing doing. You must have done all these things. But ultimately, your wife took the money and gave it to me and he took it away. So it is my money." He said, "I'm not giving you. Do what you want to do." Krishna says, "Okay, fine. So what will you do with this money? Tell me." So I'll open a sweet meat shop. Okay, and then I'll grow it. So you see what I'll do. I said, "Okay." So after he takes the money in the morning, he buys a sweet meat shop and become very famous, So his children are growing up also. So once he was sleeping in the night, and again Krishna comes and wakes him up, He said, "Krishna, you again? What have I done, to see you?" He said, "My money, please. Now you have got a sweet meat shop, you become a restaurant owner, so now you should give my money back to me." He's saying, "What kind of God you are, That small money, you are keep on asking me, He said, "Nothing doing. Give me my money back." So he says, "No. I cannot give this to you now. because I have to make sure that my family, my children have to now, I want to make 5-star hotel from the sweetmeat shop. He says, yes, sir. Yes. After 5-star hotel I'll make, and then I'll have my children, they will study very in America and all that, in England, and then I'll be successful. He says, okay. So you want to be successful with my money? He said, yes, successful with my money, not your money. He's telling Krishna. He says, okay, fine. So he sleeps, In between, then again, he's growing up and all those things, And in 5-star hotel, he comes up after some years. He becomes old. His children are now grown up, But unfortunately, his daughter is not studying. He's having not loafing around. The son is not, instead of studying, loafing around. The rich man's kids, So this guy is then waking up, and Krishna comes in the middle of the night. He wakes him up. He says, what? Hey, Krishna, oh, you, Krishna, you again? He says, see, Krishna is telling him in his hand. He has got a nice sweet, in his hand. He said, one of our devotee has very nicely offered this what do you call it? Made of
Kheer.
rice and kheer. Thank you, kheer. It's such a nice kheer he has given, So very tasty, man. Krishna is telling this guy, you want to have it? You have one bite. He said, no. He said, why? I'm giving you. Take one bite of kheer. It's very good. The devotee has cooked very nicely for me. This guy says, no, I cannot have it. So why? So because I've got diabetes. So Krishna is saying, oh my God, you are a sweetmeat halwai, man. You used to make everybody eat sweet. Now you cannot eat sweet. What happened to you? I got diabetes. So, oh no, I'm very, very sorry. He said, I know you. You are unnecessarily putting salt on my wound. He's telling Krishna. So Krishna is smiling. He said, no problem. So my money, please. This guy is then, he's saying, he's by the time, he said, my time has come to not take my medicines. He said, medicines? What are you taking medicines for, man? So I've taken 4 medicines. 4 medicines. So what is this medicine called? This medicine is called soframycin. They say, what? Soframycin. And terramycin. So all this whole mycin is keep on saying. And Krishna is saying, who? Mycin. And then Krishna keeps quiet and he says, oh, my sin. These are all my sins. That's why I've become diseased, Krishna. He said, now you understand, my sin. So what happened is this. I had seen this movie as a child, and I liked this scene very much. So as I grew up, and I took up a job, and I think it was still an advertising field. And I went to a production company, Vijay. I think you know Vijay Films. I think Vijay Films only. Unknown to me, I walked into this film and I met the producer, the big boss of that company. I was selling him and all those things. And I told him, what movies do you make? He said, Yahi Hai Zindagi we made. I said, wow, did you make it? He said, how did you come up with this? He said, with this episode of My Sin. He said, isn't it? It was so good. I said, it was fantastic. It was such a brilliant idea. How did you see? How did you conceptualize this concept? He said, yes, just see how it is, about my sin. We did all those things. I said, it was so nice. This movie was kept by devotees also here because it glorifies Krishna, So among so if you want to watch it, I'm not saying you should watch movies, but this was kept in our ISKCON library also here, by Madhuri Mataji. So watch this. It's very nice. It's called Yahi Hai Zindagi, No, Yahi Hai Zindagi. Yahi Hai Zindagi, I'm making a mistake.
Yes, Prabhu, that's correct.
Yahi Hai Zindagi? Yes, Yahi Hai Zindagi. That's right. Second it now. He's always right. I'm not sure he said he's right.
And I can share the link on YouTube, Prabhu.
So it was so funny, and I really congratulated this director and producer. He was a producer, family-owned business. And it was such a nice movie you had made at the time. It was very nice. He was very happy, and I was very happy. And I did not sell him anything. I said, don't worry about it. I'm not going to sell you anything. I'm very happy, and I went. That is the story of my sins. My sin. Tera, my sin. This, my sin. I told you my sin. Can't you hear Krishna? My sin, he's saying. And Krishna says, yes. Whose sin? And he realizes, my sin. That's why all these problems are there. Okay, Hare Krishna. Please continue.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you very much for nice realizations, as always. So when we had this announcement today in New Zealand that, we have this new system of red light signal and whatever restrictions due to COVID and everything like that. And I was thinking, me and Krishnadas, we were talking. Krishnadas said, okay, now I probably might get an email from my work. And I was saying, yeah, I might also. And then I was just thinking that, things are, so with the change, then there is all these arrangements that everyone is making for work, for your life, for your personal things and everything like that. And then I was thinking that actually your devotional service, what Srila Prabhupada has taught us, what Srila Gurudev has taught us, that doesn't really change. You can still do your chanting. You can still do your arti. You can still read your transcendental books written by Srila Prabhupada. You can perform your devotional service and find innovative ways of doing a devotional service. And the message in Srila Prabhupada's books, in the Bhagavad-Gita, in Srimad Bhāgavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that message is not changing. We are not getting an email or we're not getting a letter that, oh, actually, this message, Krishna is not saying, okay, now that message that I gave 5,000 years ago is not relevant anymore. I have to change it, So I was thinking that sometimes we, in context of that, we want proof, when we speak to some new people, sometimes we think, oh, what's the proof that all this is really transcendental? What's the proof that all this really exists? And that we all experience through realizations in our day-to-day lives as we perform devotional service. So I was thinking, well, this is a proof, right? That these scriptures are relevant in every place, time, and circumstance, no matter what. You read it today, open any book, any page, and it is so relevant. It's so relevant to what is happening in your life right now. So many of us have experienced that if we are going through some difficulty, or even if we are thinking about something and we want to take a decision about something in any place, time, and circumstance, if we really, really, really sincerely open the Bhagavad-Gita or the Bhagavatam, the message is there for us about what we are thinking. So many of us have experienced this. So I was really thinking that, sometimes when things are easily available, like we have water, which is free, Krishna has given it free, we have oxygen, which is free, then sometimes we just take it for granted. At least I do sometimes. And we assume. And so I was thinking that we shouldn't do that about the great process that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Because the thought came to my mind that how if we, even in this material world, we had been given a lot of restrictions to perform our devotional service. You can do this only if you can do that. It would have been so hard. But that isn't there. If you are very sincerely, if you want to follow Srila Prabhupada's process, then you can do so. And your material outside circumstances don't matter anymore. I remember this sentence being said always, change is the only thing that is constant. So we have these, motivational talks and everything happening with all the changes that COVID has thrown upon the whole world, especially because it is something that no one is able to predict. No one knows, no one can give a timeline to anything. Because when you talk about anything in life, then there is always a timeline. I have a goal, I have a 5-year goal, I have a 10-year goal, I have a plan. This is what I want to do. this is what I'm going to do. This is how, everything, whether it's personal, it's work, it's studies, it's travel, anything that you want to do. You want to learn something, a new, activity. For everything, there is a timeline, isn't it? If you join something, you have a timeline. But COVID has thrown everyone into that situation where you cannot predict any timeline. You don't know. I mean, we don't know what after that. So I was thinking positively, this is a really good experience for to be thrown off guard, to be thrown into a situation where you don't have to, you think about things and you plan about things like man proposes, God disposes. You think about things and they don't work out. And then there is talk about, it makes you resilient, and it makes you, one should be resilient and one should embrace the change. And now we were talking about living with the virus, because that's why even after the new red traffic light signal, we are not actually going into the lockdown situation as we were going before. Now we still have the retail shops open and everything like that. So for some people, it throws them into a complex situation. I mean, when you talk to people, they're like, what is going on? Can't handle it. Like by the time you handle one thing, there is another thing thrown at you. You have first vaccination, you have your second vaccination, and that's valid for 6 months. And now you have to do your booster. And somebody, Shikal Prabhu, I think, said that that's valid only for 6 weeks. So, okay, what after that? And then my Prabhuji was saying that it's not even probably going to mitigate the risk of Omicron. And by the time you take the booster dose, Omicron will probably be gone and some other con or sister or brother will come. And you're just going to constantly catch up with it. So what's the solution for that? And when I was thinking of all these things, I was thinking that it's a very good way, in the positive way. I was thinking the positive part of this is that this is making me think that how irrelevant all these things are, and that it's so much constantly changing that, is the material solution going to help me to mitigate this material risk? Really not. And how important it is to focus on the process of devotional service that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Maybe if I, rather than spending time reading, there's a lot of people, when I just physically went to work last week, and there was so many theories going on and so much speculation going on and so much research being done by people. And I was thinking, you have the time to read all these things and then all the theories. And this is really somebody else's theory, really, not maybe fact, And I was thinking, well, if you read Srila Prabhupada's books, it just makes it so much simple and clear. And the one thing that I felt was that everyone knows a lot. Everyone knows we should be resilient, we should be this, we should be that. But they don't know how to do it. There is a point of conversation where we had, we should be resilient, we should embrace the change. But how do you do it? There's no answer to that. People are so confused. Whereas in Srila Prabhupada's books, exactly this is there, be it COVID or anything else in your life. Anything else in your life that you're facing. The same message, and the same message is relevant for any difficulty in your life. How beautiful is that? The effort has to come from within, at least for myself, to give that time to read the real important scriptures, which will help me in being resilient. Like Srila Gurudev says, that, at one point of time in your life, then all these material waves don't really matter to you. So I was very when because my Prabhuji was mentioning that this is going to happen. And, you know, he was quite certain it will happen this week, actually. Everyone else was speculating about maybe 2 weeks or 3 weeks. And he was just saying that, you know, it was just preparing us that, you know, you be ready in terms of what's going to happen. So at that time, I thought that how much are you going to run behind all these things? A matter of fact is then to go back to what is really going to help you in your life. And I really, really feel that, you know, for the young people or the old people or any age people, the best thing that has happened to us in our lives is, first thing is that we have come into contact with Srila Prabhupada. We have come into contact with Srila Gurudev. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. Jai. And we have come into contact with Srila Prabhupada's books. And I am slowly trying to understand why Srila Gurudev said that if you have any problem, just open Srimad Bhagavatam. I am so, like, I haven't experienced it myself so much, but I'm so convinced about it already. So that is motivating me to going to be able to read it. And I'm just going to give you a small example of this, how this happened. Maybe my Prabhuji's already mentioned this, but we were in India, and we were traveling from Mumbai to Nashik, and Srila Gurudev was also traveling, and my Prabhuji was going to go, because this was early in the morning at 4 or 5 o'clock that when Prabhuji called my Prabhuji, and they were going to go together to Nashik. And when we were at home at my mother-in-law and father, so my Prabhuji's home, and he said to me that, you know, I'm going. So I said, I'm also coming. I also want to come. And because of that, what happened was he was supposed to go with all the other devotees and in the car that Srila Gurudev was traveling in. But because I said that I want to come, so obviously there was place only for one person. So then he had to rearrange and arrange for a taxi or something. And we were left a little behind because they had already left, and he had to wait for me so I could come along with him. Now, when that happened, we met. So this was going from Mumbai first to the hospital, the Bhaktivedanta hospital, and then from there going further to Nashik. So by the time we reached the hospital,
Panvel. Sorry, Panvel.
Panvel. Okay, sorry, I forgot. Yes, that's right. Sorry. So we were supposed to go there to Panvel, and we went to the hospital, and then from there we were supposed to go to Panvel. And by the time I think we reached the hospital, everybody had left. So we went to the room where Srila Gurudev was staying. And there was one devotee there who was serving Srila Gurudev, Sivananda Prabhu. And he was there, and he was reading Bhagavatam there. So we asked him, I think that, you know, has everyone left? And he said, oh Prabhu, they just forgot me. And he was a personal servant of Srila Gurudev kind of at that time. So he said that, you know, Maharaj used to say always that if you're in any difficulty, you just open Bhagavatam and read. So I'm just reading Bhagavatam, and now you have come. So we could take him along with us. And that was just amazing. Like, you know, this is like, I cannot tell you more livable proof than this. So that is how important that instruction is. And I just really want to be able to implement that in my life, that no matter what, I just get that attachment to reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Srimad Bhagavad-Gita and Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and all Srila Prabhupada's books. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Now, as we discuss here in New Zealand, We all read about Omicron, Omicron, Omicron. I want to read you something. I've studied with other people. I've not shared with you people because I thought I'll speak to you. I'll share it personally. So here it is. Where did it go? Right. Omicron's sister has been found. In Europe, there is another contagious disease. It is called variant. They're calling it the sister of Omicron. It's already there in UK. About 53 or some people are there. They're saying it's very more infectious than Omicron. So if you think Omicron was more infectious, this is more infectious than Omicron. They're studying it now. What is it? Is it less harmful or more harmful or whatever it is? So we don't know. So I thought they already have sister of Omicron. So now our great scientists, they're God-like scientists, they've found God nearly. There's no need for God. They've discovered the sister. That means sister was existing before, they did not know. But now they know. They're finding out more. So when they find, ultimately when they find their Omicron's long lost brother, the brother who was lost in a mela, in a Gao mela, and just when the delivery was made from the hospital, and they took away, So and the whole Hindi movie begins with this, So that's how, or even Hollywood movies, So when the scientists will discover the brother of Omicron, then Omicron will be now finished. It will be the end. So by the time the end will come, we will have robotics will be in place, and it will be used by older people first. It's the biggest market. Older people and those who are in extreme need, robotics will be their best friend. Will give them support and guidance, talking to them, all this is there. Okay, and robotics will become our best friend also in the mainstream. They'll become mainstream, and he'll become the best friend of us, joining us in every sphere of life. When that time will come, that will be the end of the movie of Omicron. And the impact will be long lasting on this. So I just thought I'll share it with you if you want. It is there. Today only it has come about. Sister of Omicron is found. So now we are searching for, I'm going to write to them now, you search for the brother of Omicron very fast. So you want to finish off this movie. And get this robotics in place, So we are free, and get on with our lives. Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Please continue, Hare Krishna.
On the same topic, sorry, Chilbabu, what Amrish Babu said, I just would like to add to another dimension. Sorry. Yesterday I was reading the same newspaper about some metaverse created by this Facebook founder. And that is going to have the same impact when internet came, when this websites, what they call it, that came, and then app came and mobile came. That kind of revolution coming when actually everything will become virtual. Actual will finish. And that's where they're putting all the money, and that's where this thing will go actually.
Yes, that is right. That is the whole thing. Our world is going to be upside down very soon. This is just the beginning. Hare Krishna. I will not crack any more Hindi movie dialogues there.
It's always a Kumbh Mela, Prabhuji. The brother get lost.
There's a Mela there. Always a Mela is there. So they lost the brother. They'll find it. Also, you got this movie, Dishum happening, and there is climax, and there is love, and there is always a joker there, cartoon, some laughing is there, and then there is a demon, there's a fighter, and the fighter has got a son, and all these things going on. There's a kidnapping, and then a Dishum, and Bishum. I told my son, just listen to this sound, it's so beautiful. Bishum. No, it's not there, but it's Dishum. I remember as a very young, I was young boy, and my dad took me to watch this movie, American movie, very famous. It's called McKenna's Gold. You guys were not born, you don't even know.
I know, Ruji.
You were born probably by the time, just born. So I'm not that old, but still. So McKenna's Gold is the name of the movie. Now in that there's a final sequence of fighting, So this guy, it's a very famous movie, Mackina's Gold. It's still there in YouTube if you can check if you want to. So there a fighting is going on. And this is how the fight happens. That's it. And I was like seeing, and my dad told me in the whole movie, everybody was said, Maja nahi aayi? He didn't like it. I said, no, Dad, there's no dishum, no bishum. I said, yes. And I actually did not like it at all. When I saw it again, I didn't like it at all. Tuk, tuk, tuk. It is so nice in the climax. And then they a bishum, they go a also. Bishum, dishum, all those things, All right, and then there is a climax dance, and the hero is hell, and then there's all this, and there's famous dances there, and everybody's dancing, and everybody's then crying, and then fighting is happening, and all this. So we're going through all this movie. Unfortunately, people have died, more will die, but ultimately we'll have this robotics, artificial intelligence in our life, and it will come, and when it will come, everybody will say, yes, it was bound to happen. ये तो होना ही था. As if they are very clever. There is this old saying, जो सोचता है वो होता नहीं. जो सोचता है वो होता नहीं, और जो होता है वो सोचता नहीं. इसीलिए जो सोचता है, इसीलिए जो होता है वो सोचने लगता है. You don't understand? I'll repeat again, okay? जो होता है, जो सोचता है वो होता नहीं, जो होता है वो सोचता नहीं, इसीलिए जो होता है वो सोचने लगता है. This is how all world is. When robotics will come, AI will come in our daily life immediately. Then we'll say, yeah, of course, this was going to happen only, Yeah, that's right. That's right. But those who can predict it, that's what we want all of you to be. If you read Bhagavatam, you can predict this. Then you are one step ahead. Wherever you are. And why do you need one step ahead? Mukunda, boliye.
Yes, bro.
Why do we need one step ahead than the world?
Could you please repeat the question?
I said, why do you need to be one step ahead than the world?
I don't know.
Did you hear what I was saying?
Yes, I was hearing.
Before that? Yes. You don't know. Okay, right. So we can make people ullu. Who else? Can anybody want to say? From beginners program? Who's there? Murray is not there today. Divanshi, what do you think? Divanshi, you're in front of me. Yes. What do you think? Why should we be one step ahead than the world?
I don't know. Because we're devotees, we're supposed to be smarter than normal people.
Well, supposed to be. That's right. You are absolutely right. We're supposed to be smarter. So what happens if you're one step ahead? Why do we wait to one step ahead? Okay, let me move on. A beginner's program. Who's that? Priyanka, are you with us? Oh, she's at work. Okay, right. Next to her is Suchi. Suchi, what do you think? Why should we be one step ahead?
Yes, I am.
Oh, Priyanka,
I'm
here.
here.
Yeah, tell me. Why do you think we should be one step ahead?
Sorry?
Why do you think we should be one step ahead? Were you listening to our discussion? What we were discussing?
Actually, मैंने ज़्यादा सुना नहीं.
अच्छा, सुना नहीं आपने? कोई बात नहीं. That's okay. All right. Yes, Suchi, what do you think? Why should we be one step ahead?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
I think so that for my case, I could not be fooled by people like
In spirituality?
Yes. So, Suchi, continue, Suchi.
so that I can't be fooled by a person who is trying to give me like knowledge which is not relevant. I could be one step ahead, so I can predict the things.
Very good. You will do this?
I'll try to.
Okay, good. Very nice. Very
Okay.
nice. One step ahead. Parth, what do you think one step ahead?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Why are you
I
black
think
and white today?
black and white, bro.
Hello, you're black one. Means I can't see you. If your camera is off.
Bro, my health is a little down.
Oh,
So,
what happened?
I don't know. It's just a cough and cold. I think normal.
Oh, I see. Last week when Soumya was not well. Okay. You be careful. Have you done your testing?
No. Not tested, but it's improving. I have not done my testing yet. Yeah.
Okay. Are you at home or outside alone?
Home.
Oh, home. Oh, that's good. Then people can take care of you.
Yes.
And you can infect everybody else also.
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, that's a very wrong thing to say, but it's the nature of the beast,
Yes, bro.
Who had thought? In the olden times, we had Ravan. We knew Ravan is a demon, and you can go and tell him, you are a demon. Here you can't see this demon also, and we're all afraid of the demon sitting inside the house and there's a coronavirus outside, So somebody will come from Mars. They say, who is the demon? Where is he? You can't see a demon. He's invisible demon. So no, he's visible, but it is this small that we can't see the demon. This is Kali Yuga. Tell me why we should be one step ahead, Parth.
Krishna, Prabhu, I think because in Gita, Krishna says that yad yad achariti shrestha. So how the leaders do, the people follow. So if we are one step ahead, then we can be like ahead in thinking and ahead in everything. So we can be ideal leaders. That's what. So that is my thing. Like, people can then follow us.
Wow, man, heavy stuff, man. I didn't even think like this. Was great stuff. Bhagavad-Gita philosophy, man. These all philosophers. Okay, very nice. Thank you very much, Parth. Very good. Soumya, what do you think, Soumya?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, I at first
You sound all right now. You sound good. Better than last week.
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm all right now.
So you're defeated the demon then.
Yes, Prabhuji.
You said hak thu, and the demon went out from your body and got killed. Huh?
Oh, nothing like that, Prabhuji. I had to face. I was not well, but after some time, I'm better now. I'm much better.
Be careful now. His sister is coming now.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. Putana is going to come soon now. We'll give a name to her. Or Suparnaka. We'll call her Suparnaka. Yes. What do you think we should go ahead?
Prabhuji, I initially agreed. I thought the same thing as Shuchi Mataji, that we should be ahead so that no one else can fool us. But also I heard what Parth Prabhu said, and I also agreed with him as well. So I think it is both of those things. So I initially thought about what Shuchi Mataji only said, that we should be ahead so that no one can fool us or tell us the wrong things and misguide us. So that.
Very good. Also agree with all of you. Very nice. Oh, we see Kanchan, did you hear us or you just came now?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Did you hear my speech before this?
Yes, I was listening.
Oh, you're listening. Okay, good. So why do you think we should be one step ahead? What do you understand by the meaning we should be one step ahead? For what reason we should be one step ahead?
As far as my opinion is concerned, I feel like, Prabhuji, just to protect our own self, we should be a step ahead. That's what I think. Initially, we need to protect our own self.
Yes, practical answer. Very good. Perfect. Yes. Very nice. Thank you very much, Kanchan. I think Shaurya. Hare Krishna. Shaurya just joined us, so probably she did not know.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, I have just joined.
No worries. Okay. Right. Abhishek ji, what do you think, Abhishek Mondal ji? Why we should be one step ahead?
Always be aware, Prabhu. One step ahead always makes us always aware what should we do when this type of the things are there. So that when we start doing the same steps, then others should be also with. And the most important thing is that we must try to keep ourselves self. For me, Prabhu, मेरे को तो कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता, ओमिक्रॉन आए, पॉपकॉर्न आए, डेल्टा आए, कोई भी आए, I had gone through my phase all of it.
You eat them like popcorn, no problem.
No problem, प्रभु. आज सुबह प्रभु, just before the lecture किसी ने मेरे को बताया, यार अभिषेक तुमने लॉकडाउन करवा दिया. मैंने क्या लॉकडाउन करवा दिया, पता रेड आ गया.
Very good, रेड आ गया, very good.
रेड आ गया तो बदूर अच्छी बात है यार, कम से कम बिजनेस खोलता है. एंड मैं बोलता हूँ प्रभु, मैं ऐसा सोचता हूँ, I think I had discussed a lot, प्रभु, but by the time when I was going with a different faith, in this COVID, I learned a lot. I had learned a lot. बल्कि कोविड मेरी जिंदगी में बहुत प्लस पॉइंट हो गया. मैंने जब सोचा था ताकि मेरे साथ कुछ उल्टा ही होगा, सब कुछ होगा, पर ये आएगा. एंड एंड ऑफ द डे प्रभु, टू बी वेरी ऑनेस्टली, अगर आदमी छींक भी दे, अगर मैं जाके काला समावरा के बगल में छींक दूं, काला समावरा मेरे को कल बोलते कि इसको कोविड हो गया. So I don't care about all these things. I don't mind it. I don't think, because I believe on the Sthita Pragya. And it's the time. अभी हमें टेस्ट मैच की तरह खेलना है. जब वनडे का टाइम आएगा तो बराबर छक्के मारेंगे. So I don't mind it.
Yes. Jai. Hare Krishna. So my thinking is this, that all of you are very correct, in your own pace. My thinking is this way, that if you are one step ahead, then you can preempt things so that what you're doing today, when you spend time with Srimad Bhagavatam every day or every second day or whatever, that is not disturbed. You can continue with it. Your answers are all absolutely correct. Self-interest, preservation, absolutely right. Philosophy, leaders, people will preach from you, understand from you. The best thing that we can do is this, so that we are at peace. If you know what is coming, then you know which beast is going to come and how far is the beast, So no problem. This is the point. Always remember this. Your peace of mind to be with Srimad Bhagavatam is the most important thing for you. Yes, many of you are very new. You don't study Bhagavatam. You may not study Bhagavad-Gita also. So no problem. At least when you chant, you're chanting some rounds, So at least that time, that thing should not be disturbed. This mental peace is very important. And we take very much care of our own mental peace and of all of you, so that those who are with us, we can be with them and they can progress nicely, quietly. Obviously, you're going to have turmoils, especially if you're with temple, some kind of temple politics and all those things. Obviously, there. But we take the burden and you can continue. That's the whole idea. Simple as that. No complications. So whatever happens, our chanting must go on, our bhakti must go on. That's why we have to preempt. And second reason is, so you can start bank called ASB Bank. It's in New Zealand, ASB Bank. And that motto is one step ahead. So we are not ASB Bank, we are better than that.
You can buy shares in gold, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Okay, wonderful.
Prabhuji,
Yes, Suchi.
I have a question. That you said that we should be one step ahead, but how can we one step ahead? We have to take the shelter of scripture or be dependent on Krishna. That by following that we could be one step ahead, right?
Only by following that you'll be one step ahead. You cannot be one step ahead without it, Because the scriptures, they protect us.
Yeah.
When Krishna says that there's a genuine urge to sit with his books, you worship the books. How do you worship the books? By studying it nicely, scrutinizingly, understanding the concepts, remembering the verses, meditating upon what is trying to be said, to reproduce it in your thoughts, to change it, to then talk to people if you can. Otherwise, just talk to us. When they know, they give us the blessings. Then we can have this. So you are right. You are absolutely right. Our elders, especially those who are senior Vaishnavas, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, they bless us in the form of his books also. You're right. Is it okay? You're correct.
Adding into that, one more thing, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I still remember there was a very nice conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. But I mean, the day when Arjuna faced at the battlefield to his own brother Karna. Then that first day, I think Karna was very much, on the top in front of Arjuna, and Arjuna was very much depressed. So that day, Arjuna was very much upset with him as well as a lot of things, So Krishna was judging Arjuna. By that time, Krishna told to Arjuna, we must always have to be aware. और जो योद्धा अवेयरनेस रखेगा ही नहीं या किसी भी बात की सुरक्षित जानकारी नहीं रखेगा तो उसके हिस्से में कभी जीत तो आएगी नहीं. We must always have to be keep awareness.
Yes.
And that is what the thing. That is what the thing. And devotees are always bit of extraordinary with the common man. So जैसे कि आपने बोला है कि शास्त्र हमें पढ़ना चाहिए because शास्त्र ही तो reveal करेगा. There is the only one way. ऐसे सारे obstacles से pass out होने के लिए. When the devotees stand सबके साथ तो ऐसे बहुत सारे कोरोना वायरस थे. कोरोना वायरस always exist as per the history. जब ये दुनिया थी तब से. लेकिन अगर डिवोटीज के महान संकीर्तन से सब कुछ निकल सकता है, सब कुछ निकल सकता है. एंड बट वो गाइडेंस हमें शास्त्र से मिली. दैट इज द रीजन व्हाट यू आर सेइंग इज एग्जैक्टली 101% राइट. वी हैव टू बी ऑलवेज टेक केयर वन स्टेप अहेड.
Yes, our business is bhakti, and that is what we should be protecting. Yes, Parth, you raise your hands. You raise your hand. Sorry.
Hare Krishna.
Hari Bol.
Yes, Prabhu. I had a question, just a small question. So recently, what something like weird has been happening with me. So before, no, not so much weird, just on the spiritual. Yeah. So before, what used to happen was that I used to have a fight with my mind to do my spiritual activities. Like when I was like just starting in all of this, so I used to have a fight with my mind to do my spiritual activities. But Prabhu, recent some months and something, what is happening is I'm trying to do my spiritual activities, but so many things, I'm like, my mind is telling me to do spiritual activities, but then because of so many other things, I'm not able to do spiritual activities. Like it's pushing me away. Like before I had to push my mind away to do spiritual activities. Now I don't know if this is what, but I feel like I'm being pushed away from spiritual activities, but I want to do them. But there are so many things and I get caught up and everything. So Prabhu, is this some real thing? Like how can I help this? Like, because I'm getting disturbed by this. I don't know.
Very good. Very good. If you're experiencing this, it is very good. The best. And the best thing you can do is just fold your hands and pray to Krishna that I want to do this. But why are you circumstances taking me away? Please make it very favorable so I can do it. And prayers will help. This intensity of separation, it grows more. Love grows more in separation. We think that I will love Krishna like Radha and gopis, and when Krishna is away, I'll be separated. We forget that Krishna is represented in his sound. He is represented in his books. And when he is there and we want to study it, that means we want to love him. And when that is not happening and we feel love and separation, this is love and separation. Even when at initial stage it can happen, at advanced stage it happens more and more and more and more. So pray to Krishna. And remember one thing, that the Varna Ashram system, you are from Indian background, you're very fortunate, Indian birth is very fortunate. So that at the age of 50, one has to sort of a little bit retire, from family life and all that. Nowadays, it's a bit hard. It is going to be even more hard in the future. But practice should be made from now onwards, at your younger age, chanting and reading something. So this separation, which is there, you want to do, but you can't do, circumstances are not allowing you to do, then your intensity should increase with it. Many times Krishna does this to increase our intensity. So pray to Krishna, so please make sure I get my time. And you fight it out. You pray also, and you also work hard so that you can go and do it. Snatch it. Snatch it. Just like when a person, Prabhupada would take this, it's a very awkward example, Prabhupada would say. But it's an example, so I'm telling you. Just like if a woman is married, but she has a lover somewhere else. But to the husband, she doesn't allow to know that I've got another lover somewhere. With the husband, everything is very perfect, But her heart is somewhere else with a lover. So this person does not even know, the husband, that she has a lover. So this is how we should be very expert with material things. We should be doing our material things so expertly, but our heart should be with Krishna. And wherever the woman gets a chance, she runs to the husband, to the boyfriend, or the whatever extramarital lover. It's a very awkward thing, but this is called Parakya Bhav. This is how it works there, goes there. So this is the point. So pray to Krishna, and we have to do material activities. I'm sure you are distracted to do the material activities, you're studying, your job, and various other things, That is fine. It has to happen. At this age, if it doesn't happen, when will it happen? But it is good you're feeling this separation. So pray to Krishna and always find time, snatch it, and go back. Krishna will love it. And if he loves it, he will do it more. Don't think he'll make it easy for you. The more strong you are, I said, this is very good. Now I'll enjoy a bit more, He's now Yavanam. He's a young man. He's 70. He doesn't grow more than 17 years old. That's it. So when you're cooking for Krishna, don't cook 5 puris. He said, 5 puris I eat just like that, You must have at least 25 puris for him, 20 puris. Yeah, that's how it is, And serve him nicely, He'll be enjoying. He's the best. He'll give nice arrangement to give more. Okay. Did I confuse you or did I answer your question? Tell me yes.
No, Prabhu. You answered it very nicely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And this applies for everybody. Don't think the problems are not going to go away. It's a wrong thinking. Problems are going to increase only. Coronavirus is an excuse for more problems to come in the material world. But Krishna consciousness is the only way of escaping this. In the shelter. Sure.
So one thing, just like when we attended Saturday's class, and in the beginning, Avinash Prabhu used to tell us, like when we used to read verses, and Avinash Prabhu said, what is the practical real life application of all these verses that you're studying? And he said that you don't need to worry about anything. Krishna will give you so much. Right now, you're just right. So at that point, we used to think, oh, this is just written. I mean, like I used to think, not we. I used to think that this is written in some book. So what, like Krishna will give. This is just something. But then as we progress, now at least I am realizing that Krishna is giving so much that we have to push it away. Krishna, no, but enough. Now,
this is just the beginning. More welcome.
Yes, and Prabhu, this is so much like true, and I don't know how to share this, but this is very true, Prabhu. We have to push those things away to find time for Krishna. Krishna, please.
No, you are wrong. Don't push them away.
Yes, Prabhu.
Try doing this. Don't try to push them away. You're swimming against the tide. It will come to you more if you push them more. What you should do is, you should do it expertly, perfectly, and fast. So more of this will come. And the more you become very expert in doing this, you become expert, the boss will give you more jobs. If you become expert, then a father will give you more work. Okay, we should not say no. Our capacity expands, Prabhuji. This is magic of bhakti. When you are with Krishna, our capacity expands. Earlier, all of us here could not chant one round. You say, oh my God, I'm so busy. I cannot chant one round. I'll die. So 1 round, then it became 3 rounds. By the time it was 4 rounds, we nearly died, Oh my God, how is it possible? 4 rounds I'm chanting, and this demon, this Ambarish is saying, if you start something, don't stop it. Why did I meet this demon? Why doesn't he die? Then 4 rounds we're doing, and then 8 rounds, now 16 rounds, and 16 is minimum. Because Prabhupada said 16 is minimum. If I tell you 16 is minimum in the beginning, you'll never do it. Prabhupada will say the same thing. So our capacity is expanded. And then we study. And then when you come to the programs, and we study and come to the programs, Mad, man, we are. Why? Because our capacity is expanded. So the as Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj says, the trick is to do it expertly. Organize yourself very well. So do it and be prepared for more to come. Because more has to come. You are not becoming sannyasi at the age of 25. Your father will die, man. Your uncle will, he'll go and kill your uncle first. What have you done? My son has become sannyasi. And you become sannyasi and you will fall down. Don't worry about it. You have to get married first, then you become sannyasi. Experience everything. Right now you think this sannyasi is very good or not, sannyasi is not very good. You get married, have your problems in life, then you understand better is to be alone. Okay, I'm not sorry, Mataji. It's not the way, but all good. Mataji wants to help. So go to at least till one across the stage. So you understand this point, or did I twist
Yes,
it?
Prabhuji. No, Prabhuji. Beautiful examples and beautiful illustrations. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj would say, Hare Krishna. Right. So this is the reason why we're one step ahead. So Bhakti can go on. Now Suchi wants to say something. Suchi?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, may I say something? Like, I really agree to what Parth Prabhu said. And to that context, I was reading a book by Srila Prabhupada, and where that it was written that Krishna consciousness, the beginning of auspiciousness. And when I was reading that time, I realized that, oh my God, it is beginning of all auspiciousness, and I'm finding it a little difficult. Like what Parth Prabhu is saying, that all the activities, all the material activities, and then going back to your bhakti, But now, really, I'm very happy that I'm not in ecstasy. I mean, Krishna Prabhu, I'm bliss. I could say that. This is actually wonderful that I have really experiencing now auspiciousness, that I'm really snatching away time and taking away things.
Very good. Very
Yeah.
good. We all have got direct connection with Krishna. Auspiciousness, So keep direct connection with Krishna. Challenge him. Don't challenge him in the sense, I challenge you for a fight. Don't do that way. Pray to him. He'll respond to you. Always remember those who brought to them, like Avinash Prabhu's role is first. Otherwise, we just go to Krishna, we go to Prabhupada, we forget about it. Who taught you that? This parampara. Prabhupada are very critical. One who teaches them is also very critical. It's very simple. Just keep it simple and you will be enjoying yourself very well. You'll be in ecstasy all the time. And this is what I want to do with us, our program Hare Krishna Weekend. We all have connection with Krishna. If you have a problem, talk to him. Don't talk to us. But don't talk to me. How can I solve it? I go to him to solve the problem. Talk to him. Krishna, I got this problem. I don't understand it. Can you solve it for me, please? He'll say, sure. Or he'll say, no. Simple as that. Then you can say, why? So why should I tell you? Oh, that's another good answer. Why should I tell you? So you have to find out an answer. Why should you tell me? Right. Jai, Hare Krishna. Please, any more. Let more come. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Swami, Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, I just really, you said something about our capacity expanding. And I really agree with it, because and you said all those things about chanting, and I mean that was exactly how I felt. People people would tell that, okay, chant karna, I should chant. I knew I should be chanting, but I just never wanted to. I would explain myself by saying, अरे मेरे पास तो time नहीं है, class जाना है, ये करना है, मुश्किल से 1 round. And then I'd be like, नहीं कम से कम 4 तो करना चाहिए, but 4 भी नहीं, I can't do it. I would explain and I would justify my actions by saying कि I don't have time, I have to go to class. And then just slowly, I don't know how it happened. So I cannot even think about a time when I only used to chant 4 rounds a day, 1 round a day. And I actually felt like that, अरे क्यों करना है एकदम, and I would actually feel like I would die by the time I was doing 4 rounds, 5 rounds. So really, the capacity really increases, and now now and that was when I didn't even have these classes all the time. now I'm in second year, and then I will keep progressing only. So my burden keeps on increasing, and things I have to do in college, they also keep increasing. But somehow nowadays, now I'm able to do it even in my classes. Like classes ke beech mein, whenever I get time, then I chant theek hai time hai, I'll chant 2 rounds. So somehow or the other I find time. And then this keeps on happening. Like first of all I thought chanting kaise hoga, then classes kaise attend karu, har week classes kaise attend kar sakte hain, Sunday ko to padhna hota hai. And then
The demon will ask
yes,
questions, you know.
yes, Prabhuji. And then it was like, "Arey, class attend kar hai, but I also have to focus because yes, obviously you do point out and ask questions, so that all have
Because you
to
don't show
do."
your face,
And
I have to ask you a question.
yes, Prabhuji. And then yes, Prabhuji. And then it always felt like, okay, my friends are getting this time to study, but I'm not able to study. But then slowly, even during exams, I'm able to chant nowadays. So and then slowly I try to read books. So it just keeps on increasing and increasing, and you don't even realize that okay, there was once upon a time I was not able to do even 5-10 minutes of this, and now you are giving hours of your day to this Krishna consciousness. It's very beautiful, and really your capacity increases without you realizing it.
Yes, wonderful. This is
True.
why? Because it is devotional service. Prabhupada are the only person who has defined bhakti as devotional service. There is service involved in this. Where we think bhakti means only devotion. In man mein dhyan mein kar lo, ab bhul jao. That is what nonsense thinking. Some haphazard thinking. But it's service. Chanting is service. I love you, Krishna. Tell him, I love you, I love you, I love you. Chanting is loving. Asking Radharani and Krishna, please, allowing 8 minutes. It's cooking for Krishna when you start, So good. Right now you're in second year, then the third year, then you'll become doctor, then you'll go to work under somebody who will be again a very big demon to make you work 24 hours, make you work 25 hours or 24 hours, And then you'll get married. If you got married, then there'll be another problem. Not problem, another work, sorry. Sorry, not problem. So this is never ending. And if you really want to enjoy your life, then just give Krishna a chance. Everything is a thriving challenge. It is very easy to do. You will not feel morose. You will not feel down. Nothing. Just snatch your time. Just like that woman who has an extramarital affair with her husband. Snatches the time like you do, Between classes, go and chant. People between classes go and smoke, He said, no problem. I chant. Why do you chant? It is intoxicating. That's it. That's the answer you give them. A smoker asks you, man, why? What are you, Swami, what are you doing, man? You between classes you go and you chant. What nonsense is going on? Then you tell him or her, when you go between classes and smoke and drink, do I ask you? You do it because you want to do it, right? You love it. I love this. This is much better than intoxication. What do you know? Try it. Then chant. This is how it is. Beautiful. You will not feel depressed. You will not feel morose. Give Krishna a chance. Give Krishna a chance. Read Prabhupada's books. Chant Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will take you everywhere. On that point, taking everywhere. Today, I was thinking, I must tell you all of you, that although I made this once announced information before you guys came, all of you, once the COVID is over, it's not going to be over so soon, it'll take about a year or more than that, So when we come to India, we're going to plan, as I told you, Avinash will be also coming, I'm also coming. So we all will be there. We've got 2 headquarters, New Zealand and India. So you can come and meet, all those things. So how about this? Of course, you will know much in advance, many months in advance. And we'll go for different sightings, for yatras. We can go 7 days to Vrindavan. All of us can come together. Whoever is coming from New Zealand, who's coming with us, we all will join. All of you can join. You're in India, plan in advance for 4 months in advance. Just come with us. We go to either Vrindavan or we go to Mathura, Mayapur, or Jagannath Puri or Ayodhya. Beautiful. Just take your time off. Come with us. We'll go there. We'll have Mangal Aarti. We'll go to different places of pilgrimage. All of us. How does that sound? Do you like it?
Wonderful, Prabhu. Wonderful. Amazing. Very excited.
Yes, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
it sounds very amazing. It sounds very nice.
Very good, very good. Well, I was very excited when I thought about it. Plan. So let me tell
Yes,
you.
very
Yes,
exciting.
Prabhuji, just thinking about it is very exciting. Because Prabhu, I felt that if you just go to Vrindavan like that, Vrindavan does not reveal itself to you. It will never. It is only through the mercy of devotees that Vrindavan reveals. Because you can just go to Vrindavan or any place like a tourist, and Vrindavan will not reveal. So I think, Prabhu, it is very good that you are planning this thing in an association. Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah, and this is a regular affair. It will be every year. Krishna willing, this is the plan. So Vinash Prabhu is also there. I'm there. If I'm not there, he's there. If you're not there, Shri Prabhu is there. Sanjay Prabhu is there. But once a week we are there. Once a year we are there. Krishna willing, and with Gurudev's mercy, we should do. Yeah. So you got enough time. You can plan and you can go. And because of your association, the holy dhams will reveal themselves to us. It benefits us. It's so nice. Okay. Wonderful. Jai. All right. Let's continue, please, our discussion.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So thank you very much for your all wonderful realization. And actually, yeah, I realized many points listening to your realization. So, so actually just before this program, we were discussing about Omicron, and Amrish Prabhu said, means, are you sleeping? Means you haven't planned anything about Omicron or anything. And the reason actually I was then after the program saying, hey, how come I didn't really thought through, and actually we are very busy, all this doing chanting and this and that and program, and it actually takes your mind away, actually you don't feel that much stressed. So that is the beauty of, actually being engaged in a devotional service. So even if we don't want to, actually, but Krishna is keeping you away from all the stress. But actually, after I listen, actually we discussed, I got a bit stressed, I was very attached to my daughter and how I'm going to manage all this. So I was planning. So let's see, what happens. So actually, so my realization, actually, what I realized this week, because I was meditating, actually, because we started this program now, we started preaching in Marathi, and initially the reason, actually, I wanted to do this for quite a few months, I was thinking. And Amrish Prabhu just said, no, actually, जो सोचता है वो होता नहीं, and जो होता है ये सोचता नहीं, जो होता है इसलिए you start thinking about it. So exactly that's what happened, because Maharaj actually I realized this point. Actually, there's a very nice translated melo by His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, where he says that we should not be judgmental, we should not presuppose anyone. And that's exactly what I did, because I had my past experiences with the people, that I met in India and all that. And I always used to think that, they're not going to realize this point. They're not going to be interested in this. And that actually held me for quite a long time. Plus, again, the challenge of actually preaching into another language, even as Marathi, actually, I still a little bit struggling to actually, how to speak, convey the point is hard start. But I think as I am trying, actually, I'm actually feeling that actually I'm getting hold of it very quickly. So actually, Krishna is always, revealing things and making things easy for you when you're actually trying. So this is my actually personal. Actually, I will read the melo first, where actually I was thinking on this point that I shouldn't have actually, judge people before I actually start preaching. We normally we see people and we make actually judgment, or sort of we create our own vision of that particular person without thinking about it, or we make that actually judgment based on our past experience. But here Maharaj says that this is actually melo from 21st of January, and actually I read this, and that's actually exactly what I was thinking, a couple of days before. That Maharaj says, if you want to be healthy, we should never presuppose living entities. One day that person will be bad, and the next day he will be good. Everyone is a slave of Maya. What can they do? Don't be bothered. And when you're bothered, you are anxious, and the disease will be there. So this is actually very instructive, what Guru Maharaj said, that actually means I personally realized that when I was actually in New Zealand, I used to work for previous company, and actually they say that actually your first impression is your last impression. And we had a restructuring in my company at the time, and actually means I had pretty good reputation in my company. Then as a result of restructuring, my actually reporting line changed, and it was quite a lot of stress, and you don't know who's going to report to and how that person will turn out. And the first thing that happened between that person and me is actually a lot of disagreements or a lot of things. And then he had this mind frame that actually he's going to create a problem for me, So then I realized that actually he has the firm opinion about me, and actually it took me years to break that actually, and actually the moment that broke when that actually my boss got redundant, because when he got redundant, and actually the months that followed, I still actually means I behaved very well with him. Actually, I worked in his favor. And before he left, he told me that actually, he didn't say that, but actually his behavior changed completely. And now he's actually still a good friend. We talk, every now and then. So I realized this point, actually the same actually mistake I make actually, based on my past experience, that actually I have the actually mindset about certain people that they will not change. And when I was actually thinking about this preaching, actually I think I thought in the same lines, that shall I invite these people or not, and they will not listen and all that. But again, I thought, okay, we should not discriminate, we just invite and let's see what happens. And what I realized that actually people are actually liking it. Even I think that I didn't do a good job while actually presenting a particular topic, but actually the feedback we're getting is very positive. Actually, they're liking it. And I think some of the comment actually I got it from my wife, that people saying that they feel very peaceful after the program, which is actually, what we also experienced after actually attending, Amrish Prabhu's class. We always used to feel very peaceful. Means I still miss that actually environment. Actually, we used to have the physical program in Newland. So it was very nice. So that was actually my experience, that we should not actually, be very judgmental. Even Srila Prabhupada actually said the same point. Actually, I remember this actually realization after reading this memo. I think it's one of the videos that Amrish Prabhu used to broadcast on Wednesday's program, and where actually Srila Prabhupada said that actually, if somebody come to meet you, actually you should meet that person in a mood that you are meeting that person for a last time. This is your last meeting. How would you meet? So that was actually struck in my mind, that instruction, and because normally we sometimes take people for granted, so we should not do that. Even that person maybe actually behaved badly with you, but there is always a chance that that person might change. So we should not actually have a the pre-supposed ideas or actually opinions. So that's the way we should meet people. So I think that's one of the point I realized actually, especially if you're trying to preach, that actually, I think we should give equal opportunity to everyone, and see how that turns out. Actually, I also came across this realization from one of the Maharaj devotee on the same point. I always have a habit actually, whenever I get stuck with some point, I always have a way of checking what Srila Prabhupada talk on this point or Guru Maharaj talk on this point, and it's wonderful, it answers most of the questions. So where actually is Sudarshana Devi Mataji, I think is Maharaj's disciple. Actually, she wrote this article, Never Judge Others, where actually I'll just read what is the relevant, where she wrote, actually, due to inherent quality of finding faults in others, many times I land up judging people based on their appearance, the way they talk or behave, and as a result, have a lot of framed opinions. Even if a person changes his or her behavior over a period of time, the framed opinions don't leave the mind. This imperfection has always been a stumbling block in the interaction with other living entities. So true to the above moral, mentioned this story. So I think there is a small story she mentioned. I will read it later on, actually, if we have enough time. It is very important that we don't rush to judge others and end up criticizing them. And there is actually a reference of one of the verse from Canto 11, chapter 28, verse 2. Para swabhava karmani yaha prashama shati nindati sa ashu brashayate swartha asati abhiniveshataha. So the translation, Srila Prabhupada Ji ki jai. Whoever indulges in praising and criticizing the qualities and behaviors of others will quickly become deviated from his own best interest by his entanglement in illusory dualities. So, this actually, particular instruction, this verse is actually very instructive. If you think, I try to think on this actually point, and it's so true actually. When you actually, try to judge people or actually criticize people, actually it takes away, take ourselves away from actually our own self-interest, actually, as Guru Maharaj also says that actually we should not hold grudge or anger about anyone, because it is like someone living in your head like a rent-free, so there is no gain, but actually we have everything to lose by holding a grudge or anger, so I think we should let it go. And next, actually, His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj says, as soon as a living entity come in front of me, we judge him. I either hate him or like him. This is again mind. And all the time, almost 99% of the time, as soon as the jiva come in front of us, we see with critical eyes. So, that's very true what Maharaj says. We always actually discriminating. Every time we actually meet, even the new person, you never met in your life, but as soon as you see him, actually you already have the opinions made up. That's why they call it, your first impression is the last impression. So if you are actually meeting someone, you make sure you actually give your best impression possible, because that's what stuck in their mind. Believe me, actually, especially when you're going to work in corporate world, actually this matters a lot. So actually it's very hard to break the opinions. You have to work very hard to change people's opinion. So actually, yeah, something, that's why you need to actually very planned and prepared. So that's actually, and this is one of the point I always actually struggle, actually that this job interviews means I hate this process of job interview, because actually, you have very limited time, maybe just 40 minutes an hour, and you have to prove yourself, and to people who don't know you. And that's actually the whole process itself is very, it's a big question on that process, because it takes time to actually, get to know the person. And that's why actually it's a good thing that they still check the references, they check with the previous boss and all that. And I think that's what actually, probably help you to land a job, because that's why actually this habit of actually, judging other people's, actually is very, sometimes it can work against you, you may actually lose people. So when we actually think about actually preaching, so we should not actually, make decisions based on what we think, because as Amrish Pur said, whatever you think, it may not happen, and we should always be very open. And that's what I realized, that by actually learning this philosophy of Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad-Gita, actually it opens up our mind. We become a little bit broad-minded, and that's what actually, that's why they say that devotees normally they are very forgiving, as well as actually it personally helped me in managing the actually my stress levels, because initially, if you study psychology, they know whenever you go through some difficult time or calamity, so initially you panic, and then you make wrong decisions, and then there is actually you lament, or you regret, and then there is a slow acceptance. It takes time. So as Amrish Pur said, that we have to be one step ahead. So if you're one step ahead, and you have calm mind, then actually it gives you having that realization that you should not panic, you just give time, and that actually helps to make you the right decisions. So it's very actually a lot to learn from this Srimad Bhagavatam, and as it is said that actually it is a timeless literature. Even Mataji made the same point that actually it is applicable, all these years, 5,000 years ago, and it is still applicable in this COVID era, and it will still will be applicable in the future as well. So it's very interesting. Means I always realize this point. Actually, sometimes a lot of people think that actually this, the philosophy of Bhagavad-Gita is too old and it's not applicable in today's world. But if you realize this, actually, if you learn from a devotee, like Ambrish Prabhu taught us how to use that philosophy, in daily lives, how to actually implement. Even if we are not actually implementing it, still, at least you learn, what you need to do. And it gives you actually a frame of mind, that it prepares you for the, actually oncoming, the whatever calamities or dangers, and you still be very in a right set of mind, or you can be able to maintain a composure. So that is what I learned. And actually, as I said, actually I try to preach in a Marathi, and that was a bit of a challenge for me, because when I read actually the Marathi translation of Bhagavad-Gita, the actual language that is used, Marathi, is very pure. Sometimes I struggle to understand, so I had to read the English one and then understand and then try to preach in Marathi. But actually, sometimes I think that I didn't do a good job actually trying to get the point across. But still, actually, people are actually finding it useful, and they are actually giving us a good positive feedback. So actually, I was thought about it and then said, it's not me, it's the actually Srila Prabhupada mercy, or what Srila Prabhupada has wrote, what I read in front of them is making a difference. So that is, it's nothing about me, actually I'm reading Srila Prabhupada's purport, and that's what actually impressing people. So that's what I actually realized. Even in Srimad Bhagavatam, actually, I remember this point while meditating on this point, where even Srila Sukadeva Goswami, is such an exalted personality, that he said that he's just like a parrot, he's just repeating what he has learned from his guru or whatever is written in a scripture. So I have to also do the same thing, we just read and repeat the message. And actually, the pure devotee's word will actually make a difference. We should not actually really try to make a decision based on our own ability, because the message that is actually we try to get across is pure in itself, and that will work its magic. So that is what I realized, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You're very right, you're very right. In Srila Prabhupada's message, which is purified us, it is same will purify everybody. And by us studying, by you studying it in Marathi and English, you're solidifying this message for you from different angles. So that's why preaching is done for benefiting us. Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj says this. This is you're practically understanding this. That's why we are preaching. And that's why we say, preach on behalf of somebody. Don't preach on your own. This is the reason why. Wonderful. And one more thing, this जो होता है वो सोचता नहीं, जो सोचता है वो होता नहीं, इसलिए जो होता है वो सोचने लगता है. It is not my dialogue. I heard it from a television serial, Hindi television serial, long ago. I gave you a story about Yehi Hai Zindagi, right? About the Krishna. This is from Ye Jo Hai Zindagi. So nice, isn't it? It's about life. This is about philosophy, philosophy of life. It is an old, very nice. A small child has come. Very nice. It is a comedy scene, So I remember this from that point, जो सोचता है वो होता नहीं, जो होता है वो सोचता नहीं, इसलिए जो होता है वो सोचने लगता है. So everybody is confused by this, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Yes, we can go a little over time. We started a little over time, but please, I want to hear everybody. If you can, please a bit give your realizations. It'll be very wonderful, Prabhuji. Please, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna. Prabhupada, would you want to go first? It's okay.
You want to say something? Sorry.
Realization, Prabhu.
Your realization. Okay. Yes, please continue.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay.
Press your mother first. So your turn to speak first. Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, should I go first or should Mataji go first? Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. The topic. So I write based on I give a topic to my realization. So the topic that I chose was, we may be unqualified, but we are never disqualified. So this is my realization. So I'll start. To be unqualified for something means to not have the necessary qualifications to do it. To be disqualified means to not be allowed to do it. In the path of devotion, most of us are unqualified because we have little, if any, devotion. Yet, we are never disqualified because bhakti is a path of grace and mercy. Krishna is supremely merciful, and his mercy is the qualification of the unqualified. This magnanimous nature of Krishna is most evident in the conclusion of the Bhagavad-Gita 18.66. The verse is, I'll just sing it. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshasyami ma sucha. So 18.66, wherein he urges everyone to okay, should I also read the translation? Okay. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear, Masucha. So in this verse, Krishna urges everyone to surrender to him, irrespective of any past impiety that may disqualify them. He assures that he will free the surrendered from all sinful reactions. And Krishna's merciful offer is always open to everyone, no matter how unqualified they may be. So no one is ever disqualified. Of course, if we abuse Krishna's offer to rationalize and perpetuate our wrongdoings, then we will deprive ourselves of the supreme sweetness of pure devotion, which cannot be tasted by a heart contaminated and distracted by impure attachments. To help us progress towards purity, Gita wisdom underscores that surrendering to Krishna means learning to lead a life of integrity and purity. A formidable challenge indeed. It's very tough. Significantly, this challenge can be an opportunity, not a burden. If we obsess over how fallen we are, then that self-centeredness will make surrender seem like a daunting, draining, and demanding burden. Instead, we can focus on how Krishna is so merciful, how he has unlimitedly long arms to reach down to however low we may have fallen and rise us up. Such Krishna-centeredness or Krishna consciousness will help us discover how surrender is an exciting, enriching, and empowering opportunity to witness his magical grace at work in our hearts, uplifting it from the dirty ditches of depravity to the exalted heights of purity. Hare Krishna.
Very nice, very nice. We may be unqualified, but we are not disqualified. It's very good. Very nice. Heading is very good. Spoke very nicely. And it is Krishna, that's why Krishna is called Bhakta Vatsal. He is very favorable to his devotees. But more than Krishna, they are Krishna's devotees who are more merciful. When you experience that, then you worship the devotees more. Wonderful. All the best. Hare Krishna. Yes, please continue. Divyanshi?
Yes, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Thank you so much to all the nice devotees for the really nice realization. My realization is based on something that Avinash Prabhu sent on the learners group that we have. Let's just read the quotation. Everyone is struggling to gain something which he does not possess, and he is lamenting for something which he has lost. But when he realizes himself that I have nothing to gain and nothing to lose, I have nothing to do with this material world, that is called Brahma-bhuta. That is Brahman Realization. So, of course, this is something so vast for me to cover, but I'll try my best to share my own realization. That I was just thinking about this point that really essentially everything that we have in this world, we've just rented it all from the material world, right? Like nothing really belongs to us, because once we leave, it's all going to turn into something else. Like the house that we have right now, it's going to become something else maybe. So we've just taken all these things, even this body, for a matter of fact. It's just all on rent, right? So when you take something on rent, it's important to remember two things. One thing is that as long as it's under you, as long as it's your responsibility, you have to take care of it, right? You can't just let it rot. You have to make sure that it's perfect. But while taking care of it, you have to remember that someday, any day now, that you're going to have to leave this, that you're going to have to pass it on to someone else. So I thought about this point that we spend so much time kind of lamenting over things and as Prabhupada said, that hankering for things. But if it's like we see this in a lot of TV series and movies, that when the house is on rent and if something breaks or if something needs repairing, you do your best to do it. You do your best to kind of mend things there, but you don't kind of wallow over it again and again, because you know that you're going to have to change houses sometimes. So it's okay, we'll make do with it. Or you try your best to make that situation perfect, but you don't attach yourself to it. And we spend so much time wallowing over petty things. And I kind of recently, something happened that kind of made me realize how far away I am from actually realizing this, that we're not supposed to lament over things. That one day I was just right before I was going to sleep, a friend of mine called me and she told me that I had received a merit scholarship, right? And this is something that you don't hear about. This is just like, if you get it, you get to know about it. If it's your name there, if your name is there for the merit scholarship, then you'll get to know about it. It's not a public thing, so like a lot of people don't know about it. So I was very surprised because I'd never heard of this before, and this is not something that I had in my mind. So of course, I was very happy. Everyone in my family was very happy that you've got a merit scholarship and your entire semester fees is off and everything. So I went to bed very happy. But the next day I woke up and I thought about this, that why haven't I received this up till now? Because I have good grades, I have everything. Why haven't I got this scholarship up till now? The next morning I woke up, I spent 2 hours researching about it, that what is the criteria for getting the scholarship. And I found out that out of the 5 criteria that we have, I was qualifying 4 of them. And the 5th one, I literally missed by 1 mark. Okay, and I was so upset that, my entire college education would have been free. Just except for that 1 mark that I didn't even like. That it's completely based on luck, right? I was so angry that what is this? And I was talking to my sister and she had called me to congratulate me. Like, you've got a scholarship. Nobody has ever gotten it in our family. It's such a big deal. And I was kind of full on ranting to her that what is this stupid college, can't even do this business right. I would have gotten my entire college education free. And my sister kind of took a great pause and very lovingly she just said that, you stupid idiot. You don't even know about this up till now, and you've received the scholarship now, and now you're worrying about that why hadn't you gotten this all this time? And now you're just like full on ranting over this, you're not even happy. And then everyone else is so happy, and you're like all full on raging over this. And in a moment of absolute brilliance, I realized that that's actually how all of us are, right? That the moment you get something, it's just simply not enough. And I hadn't even, and she told me that it's better तुम्हें मिलता ही नहीं हो ज़्यादा अच्छा होता. That would have been better. At least you were happy that you had a good grade point. ये तो जबरदस्ती की आफत पाल दी तुमने. So I was just thinking about that yeah, that's actually right. That you just never satisfied. So I kind of think about this a lot, that just to kind of bridge this over to the next part of my realization, that we waste so much of our time doing things like this. And I read this a lot in all of the kind of pearls of wisdom that Maharaj has, that he always emphasizes on that you have to envision your life on the last day that you're going to have on this planet, right? And I always try to kind of imbibe that, but it's so difficult to actually envision yourself on your deathbed. And I thought about this, that it's not going to be any different than the days that we have right now, right? Like it's not like you're going to wake up one day and there will be a banner on the top of your head that today is your last day. It's going to be just a day like this, and you're not going to be there anymore. And I was thinking about this, that we are especially our generation, we have this thing that you live your day every day like it's your last, and YOLO and whatever, that you only live once. And I always used to think that I never quite resonated with that, because I used to think that even if I go like skydiving or bungee jumping on my last day, how is it going to matter? I'm still going to die. On my last day, I'm still going to die. What can you do on your last day that will actually matter? When I was not in Krishna consciousness, there's absolutely nothing that you can do on your last day that will actually matter, that you can actually take with you. You're still going to die. But now that I know this, that, you know, I was thinking about this, that it's kind of a really good lens to put your day through, that after you've kind of had your day, you can, I was trying to practice this, I try to practice this, that, you know, you just kind of think that what if this had been my last day? Like, what if at any point in this day I would have died? Would I have been satisfied with the kind of day I had, with the kind of things I did? And all of a sudden, even just if you overslept for 1 hour, that seems like such a waste of time, right? Like, imagine that you had overslept 1 hour on your last day. That's like, you immediately think that, you know, time is really the only commodity that you have. Nothing else. I read this in one of the lectures of Maharaj, that, you know, we're so miserly about money and so miserly about our material possessions, but these are things that you can always earn back. But time is something that you can never earn back. So we should be more miserly about our time than we are about our, you know, material possessions. And I thought that was such a brilliant point, that, you know, we spend so much time doing so many irrelevant things, and we should really be more miserly about our time. We should probably be lamenting about the fact that we're wasting our time. We should probably be hankering for using our time more efficiently. And I was also thinking about that point, that, you know, the day that I spent my half a day kind of just fussing over the fact that I hadn't received my scholarship when I should have been receiving my scholarship. What if I had died that day? That would have been so stupid, right? That I'd spend the day just doing that. So, you know, it's, I'm sorry, just 1 second, I lost the chat. Yeah, so just the last point that I wanted to mention, that, you know, we should try to kind of spend our time in the most effective way possible. And as I was listening to Avinash Prabhu's realization, like the thing that he said, you know, that we should be very efficient in everything that we do. I don't know how, so somehow my mind just kind of implicitly converts fractions to percentages, because I think it's a more like good measure of how to do things. And I was just thinking about this, that, you know, the ideal that Prabhupada set for us, not the ideal, the bare minimum, is that you have to chant 16 rounds and you have to read his book 2 hours a day, right? So that's just 4 hours, like, because it takes 2 hours to chant and 2 hours to read. That's 4 hours in a day. And that's 1/6 of a day. And that's literally just 12.5% of your life. Like, if you do that every day, which is the ideal, that's just 12.5%. Everything else is just getting spent everywhere else. And if you waste just 3 hours of your day, that's it. Like, if you just waste 3 hours of your day, 6 hours you're spending in your sleeping, because that's what something you have to do, and 3 hours you spend in your eating and your maintenance activities. This is not even counting your work days. That's 12 hours. That's 50% of your life just gone like that. You can't help it, right? So that's, I was just thinking about this, that I was kind of trying to optimize it. How can you like most efficiently spend your time? And the thing is that we have so little time, right? And we're not spending it efficiently. And yeah, so I was just thinking that, you know, I'm not able to read Prabhupada's books for 2 hours. And even if I'm somehow able to do that, that's still only 12.5% of my life that I'm giving to Krishna. And surrender means 100%. So I'm like so far off from it, right? So yeah, I was just thinking about that, you know, there's so much more that we can still do. And we're like, I am so proud that I'm able to chant every day and do all of these things every day. There's still a long way to go. So yeah, Hare Krishna.
Wonderful, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Being miser for time, excellent realizations. Avinash Prabhu, you know, Maharaj would say, you know, our Avinash Prabhu should be punished, you know. He is making all these devotees into big devotees, you know. Our job is finished. You know? What are you doing, you know? Maharaj would say, kya bolte kya aap, you know, Avinash Prabhu ji, what are you teaching them, you know, in the program, you know? What is this, you know?
I'm just repeating, Prabhu. Just repeating. And when I was listening to Parth, and then after that Divyanshi, nothing to say that Divyanshi has not given. He said he's from my family. And yeah, and so no, very nice to see. And actually, this thought came. Okay, our job is done now. We can retire.
Yes.
These people.
Oh, Ruda, now we have to push them that they realize what you are speaking. This is realization program. And then in your guidance, they can bring more people. Bring Prabhupada to them. Never give up on people. Even if they don't interested. If we had given up upon people, many of them would not have been devotees. If somebody had given up on me, I would not have been a devotee. It's very hard. Jai, this is excellent. Ani more, give me more. Although we are away from time, I want to hear from everybody. Please, please continue. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So yes, first of all, I would really like to appreciate the Gayatri Mataji for her realization. It was really nice. I mean, right from the example that she gave about the house being rented, it was a very good example. I mean, I really liked the example. And then obviously everything else, how she's actually calculated the time. And I was listening to her and I'm thinking, okay, so I'm literally wasting so much of my time every day, and even on the ideal days, they're not even ideal. They're the bare minimum. So they are a few days of my life. So if I'm actually extrapolate them to my entire life, even then it is just 12.5%. So it is very eye opening. And so yes, thank you so much for that, Divanshi Mataji. But for my realization, I have chosen a message that Amrish Prabhu had sent on the intermediate group. I'm actually not very well prepared with my realizations. I'm very sorry about that. I have just written something. I had a few ideas. I was not very well prepared about that. So please forgive me for that. So it is like this. It goes. I'll read out the message. Our New Year is every day. Srila Prabhupada. So far as we are concerned, our New Year is every day because Krishna belongs to the Nitya Leela. Nitya Leela means that all of his pastimes are going on in either of the so many universes. It is just like the rising of the sun. In your country, the sun is supposed to rise at 6:30 at the present moment. But at any time, you can inquire in some part of the world, and there it is the same 6:30 and sunrise. While you are in this meridian, in another country, it may be 6:30 a.m. and the sun is rising. Well, our everyday Srila Prabhupada letter, January 12, 1969. Well, our everyday is a new year. Nava Nava Yovana. Our Krishna consciousness is so nice. The more you advance, you see new year, new year. That's all. Nothing is old. People are seeing that they are simply chanting the old slogan, Hare Krishna. But we are feeling new pleasure in every moment. Take any other chanting. You cannot chant more than few hours. But the Hare Krishna mantra, we can chant perpetually. So unless there is new enlightenment, how we can do that? Srila Prabhupada, Morning Walk, Los Angeles, January 3rd, 1974. As I read this, it really, like whenever we are reading, if we reread the same verse again, it happens with all of us. And if you're reading a Bhagavad-Gita verse for the second time, for the third time, I mean, you could be reading it for the 10th time. And even then, it will happen that you're going to notice something different that you didn't notice the first time. Especially happens also when, especially it happens when we are in the association of devotees, like in the classes. Avinash Prabhu is taking class or Amrish Prabhu takes the classes. Then usually they ask when a verse is complete, then they ask different devotees their realizations on the same paragraph. And every devotee has a different realization. And I just realized it, like when like you've read the paragraph and you have your realization, and then the other devotee, he's saying something, and then you realize, okay, this was so like why did you not notice this, and this is just over there, and this is so wonderful, like how did this not come to your notice? And so that like that like that everything, like all the new realizations, it's very wonderful. And that reflects on everything. Like over here, it said that we cannot, any other chanting you cannot do for more than a few hours. Few hours, you cannot do that for more than, I think, 5 minutes. If you keep saying Coca-Cola, Coca-Cola, I mean, you cannot. Even with my studying, if I'm trying to learn something, I cannot try doing it for more than 5 hours. After 5 minutes, After 5 minutes, I'm like, अच्छा ठीक है, अब जो होगा देखा जाएगा, इस तरह तो नहीं याद हो रहा. But for some reason, when you are chanting, then like slowly it happens. You can chant more. And as you keep chanting, and I realize, like, you see, like, you read that these are spiritual words, and these words are not of this world. And you know that, but you don't really realize that until you experience it. And I'm chanting, and first round, usually it happens when I'm chanting the first round. Then I feel very bored that, okay, I'm chanting, I have to chant, I'm doing it. But by the usually, like, the more regularly that I chant, by the third or fourth round, I start feeling like, अच्छा now तो मतलब I kind of want to chant. And I'm like, नहीं नहीं, अब तो class जाने का time हो गया, I have to keep it. I have to go. I cannot give more time to this. So like this happens, and these kind of new experiences, they keep coming. With deity worship also, I very recently I only started doing deity worship. So I'm not doing much, but at first I thought that, okay, how will I do deity worship? It is such a big deal. Now I have to take a bath every single day. No day can go by where I'm not taking a bath. Every day I have to wake up early. I cannot sleep in even for a single day. ऐसे कैसे होगा? Exam के बीच में I have to do this, I have to do that. And then these kind of things, they happen. But slowly I started liking doing this. I mean, I was liking, acha, okay, it for this, because of this I get up early every day, and I'm taking a bath in the morning itself. I'm not postponing it to the evening or something like that. So that it really helps. And then I have to keep my room clean, and I have to do all of these things. They in turn, they help me, and these are just new experiences I keep having. I mean, before I was like, I never even thought that this would happen. But as I've done, not my long time, not much time has gone since I started deity worship. But yes, this realization, it came to me just one day. My mess timing is some 8:15, and I tried to finish my deity worship before that. Now this was just something I was trying, so that the thing is done in the morning first thing itself. But this one day, just it was almost 8:11, I think. And I was like, अच्छा पहले breakfast करके आ जाती हूँ. But then I just felt like, okay, but then how can I just go and do my breakfast, and Krishna is over here and he has not eaten anything. So I think I should first just jaldi se I should offer him bhoga, and then I can go and have breakfast. So this is just, and this is so weird. And I, in my childhood also, I've seen my nani and my the parents, they do puja, and my nani would never eat before doing a puja. And I would think, how itna bhi kya hi hai? She can have food. How does it matter? So now my nani never explained it to me. But when I experienced it for myself, okay, so this is why people don't eat before doing their worship, because as they do it, they don't want to eat before Krishna has eaten. So just these kind of new experiences, Prabhuji. So that is it. Hare Krishna.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Very, very wonderful. All the best to you. And as and when we start ladies programs, Mataji, separate classes and all that. And when, of course, it'll be qualified one has to go through that, you'll understand how intense the cooking process of Krishna is. Boy, if you want to really feel Krishna's presence and your direct relationship, that's when you're cooking for Krishna. And yeah, people do cooking and offering and all this is that's right. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about real experience. Boy, you can see that. Boy, you can experience that. And when things go wrong, initially it's okay, but as you go and things go wrong, you will know I'm doing something wrong. I'm doing something. What am I doing wrong? You can hear Prabhupada, the Guru Maharaj to say, something is happening there, So very nice, very nice. All the best to you. And Divyanshi, congratulations to you for your scholarship.
Thank you,
Wonderful.
Prabhuji.
I cannot even dream for my scholarship. Maybe next life I'll dream, Very nice. All the best to you. All the best to you. Yes, please, Ani more. More. Huh? Nobody wants to give more? What about a beginner's program? Mukunda?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, am I audible? Just a minute. मैं बना के रखना मैं आ रहा हूँ. Yeah, I'm audible to you. Yeah, and realization तो कुछ है नहीं वैसे, but मैंने प्रिपेयर भी नहीं किया अपने रियलाइजेशन क्लास के लिए प्रॉपरली, तो सॉरी ब्रो. बट हाँ, वो एक छोटा सा मुझे वो आपका अभी आप बता रहे थे सौम्या माता जी को दैट अबाउट इंटॉक्सिकेशन. So yes, that's true that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is much better than that. You know, when I was in I was in a marijuana fan club. I used to have cannabis, all those things. But जब हम लोग मैं वीट पीता था तो मेरा ब्लड सर्कुलेशन बहुत लाइट होता था ना. आई फील वेरी क्रिएटिव फ्रॉम माइंड. एंड बट जब मैंने काफी टाइम छोड़ चुका था और जब मैंने हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र पहली बार किया तो आई गेट द सेम एक्सपीरियंस. आई वाज लाइक ये कौन सा नशा है फ्रॉम द बीट्स. माय माइंड पता नहीं मेरे को पीछे माइंड से कैसा एकदम से अजीब सा और ऐसा कुछ ऐसा लग रहा था कि कुछ somebody is touching my mind from inside when I was doing हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र फर्स्ट टाइम. और मैं पहली बार जब गया था तो मैं बोल भी नहीं पाता था मंत्र को. एक हफ्ते तक मुझे बोलते भी नहीं आ रहा था, लेकिन उसके बाद वो होने लगा और फिर मैं देखा कि वो अब छूटे तो भी नहीं छूटता है. सो इट्स करेक्ट. यस, दिस इज ओनली माय रियलाइजेशन. सो
नाइस नाइस. हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र छूटे नहीं छूटता. वेरी नाइस.
हाँ, मैं कोशिश करता हूँ कि मैंने एक बार
छोड़ दूं.
हाँ, मैंने एक बार सच में मुझे ऐसा लगा था यार ये मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ. फिर मुझे ऐसा लगा कि जैसे एम देसाई माता जी जो अभी बता रहे थे कि कैसे ये ट्रांसीडेंटल है, तो मुझे भी थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन आ गया था यार ये ट्रांसीडेंटल कैसे है, तो नाम ही है जस्ट. तो फिर मुझे ऐसा लगा कि फिर वही क्वेश्चन मेरे मन में था. तो फिर बट मैंने उसको छोड़ दिया. फिर मैंने कुछ दिन नहीं किया, लेकिन फिर एक दिन पता नहीं आई वाज लाइक इन ऐसा कॉल कर रहा था, बीट बैक इज कॉलिंग मी, नो यू कैन नॉट. और मैं रात में अपने आप उठ के मंत्र करने लगा. देन मुझे लगा नहीं यार आई शुड स्टार्ट डूइंग अगेन. एंड दिस वो मुझे बड़े बड़े डेंजर से बचाता है. जैसे लास्ट वीक भी मैंने देखा है कि कई बार मैं हमेशा अपने आप को ये बोलता हूँ कि कि मैं मूर्ख हूँ और मैं फालतू अपनी इनर वॉइस को सुनना नहीं चाहता क्योंकि मेरा मन बहुत ट्रिक करता है. और आपने एक क्लास भी दी थी फ्रॉम भागवतम अबाउट सम मुनि, वो फिश वाली क्लास थी ना, माइंड ऑलवेज प्ले ट्रिक विथ यू. तो माय माइंड इज ऑलवेज प्ले ट्रिक विथ मी. तो इसलिए मैं हमेशा जो भी है वो सब सीनियर्स की ज़्यादा सुनता हूँ और उसी वे में चलता हूँ. बट आई हैव वन क्वेश्चन. जैसे किसी ने हमारे साथ गलत किया और फिर हम लोग जैसे मान लीजिए हम हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का एक वाव लेते हैं कि यार मैं इतने राउंड एटलीस्ट करूंगा दिन में, और कोई 16 राउंड्स का लेता है, कोई 8 राउंड्स का लेता है, उसी तरीके से कोई बुक रीडिंग का लेता है. तो एक अच्छे वाउज भी होते हैं, लेकिन एक बार ऐसे भी वाउज होते हैं कि यार नहीं, अब इसने मेरे साथ गलत किया था तो मैं इससे कभी बात नहीं करूंगा या ऐसा कुछ नहीं करूंगा. तो मैं हमेशा यही सोचता था ऐसा तो मैं बिल्कुल नहीं करूंगा. और तो फिर मैं उसकी सुनूंगा नहीं जब ये होता है. तो इज इट राइट मतलब. एंड सेकेंड थिंग इज कि एक और कि जैसे एक सेंटेंस है दैट रघुकुल रीत सदा चली आई, प्राण जाई पर वचन ना जाई. तो हाउ मच डू यू थिंक अब ये कितना रेलिवेंट है आज के टाइम के हिसाब से कि यार प्राण चले जाएगा लेकिन वचन नहीं जाएगा, अगर एक बार जो मैंने भूल दिया वो मैं करूँगा.
ओके. प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए means truthfulness. Our name, truthfulness should always be done. झूठ नहीं बोलना. Or if you say something, promise something, then you must fulfill the promise. Is it what your question is? How relevant it is now? Is it what your question?
हाँ, एक क्वेश्चन एक ये भी है कि मैंने अगर जैसे हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र का प्रॉमिस लिया है, मैंने सोच लिया कि अगर ये मैं करूंगा मतलब करूंगा, ये एक प्रॉमिस है. लेकिन एक दूसरी तरफ ये है कि अगर एक इंसान ने मानो आपके साथ कुछ गलत किया है या कुछ और किया और आपने फिर प्रॉमिस लिया कि यार अगली बार मैं ये मुझे अगर चीट करेगा या ऐसा कुछ करेगा, या उस डर से हम लोग कर देते हैं ना, यार मैं इसके पास कभी नहीं जाऊंगा। जैसे कोई दुकानदार ने आपसे कुछ गलत हिसाब कर लिया, तो फिर क्या करना चाहिए उस टाइम?
वो तो प्रैक्टिकल चीज है। वो I'll give you answer in Hindi only, it is easier for you. आपके लिए समझ में ठीक है तो?
थैंक यू सो मच।
हाँ, कोई बात नहीं। So इसमें कुछ गलत नहीं है। अगर आपको किसी ने बुरी तरह चीट किया है, you can choose association to be away, उसमें कोई बात नहीं। हम घृणा नहीं लगते, we don't keep grudge in the heart, grudge रखते हैं हम उनके प्रति, आक्रोश रखते हैं, तो आक्रोश में अपना ही दिल जलता है। तो मेरा ये मानना है कि दिल जलाने से बेटर है, नजदीक मानने से बेटर तो दूर रहें, फॉरगेट अबाउट हिम, आउट ऑफ साइट आउट ऑफ माइंड, ठीक है ना? तो ठीक है, पर ऐसा मत समझिए अगर कल उठकर वो आदमी चेंज हो जाता है एंड माफी मांग लेता है या एक्शन चेंज होता है, तो यू कैन ऑल्टर योर डिसीजन एज यू वांट टू, उसमें कोई बात नहीं है, इट्स योर चॉइस, इसमें ऐसा नहीं होना। पर अगर तकलीफ होती है आपको तो यू मस्ट कीप अवे, ठीक रहा है? दिस इज ओके?
यस गुरुजी, थैंक यू।
तो ऐसा नहीं कि एक बार हो गया तो हो गया, बेटर हो गया तो हो गया, नहीं करना है बात, नहीं करनी है बात, बेटर है दिमाग से निकालना। पर इफ ही कम्स यू कैन थिंक अबाउट इट, कुछ प्रीचिंग करेंगे, प्रीचिंग में ऐसा होते ही रहता है अक्सर इससे लोग आते ही रहते हैं, बिकॉज हम वी डोंट प्रीच टू साधुज, साधु थोड़ी प्रीचिंग सुनने के लिए आते हैं, नहीं असाधु लोग ही आते हैं ना सब। अब दूसरी बात, प्राण जाए पे वचन न जाए, बहुत जरूरी है। ये जो कलयुग में धर्म जो है एक पैर पे खड़ा है, जैसा कलयुग में वन बोलते हैं, द्वापर में 2 थे, त्रेता में 3 थे, सतयुग में 4 थे। तो कलयुग में एक ही पैर पे खड़ा है धर्म। वो क्या है पैर? मालूम है आपको?
कलयुग एक पैर पे खड़ा है,
एक ही पैर पे खड़ा है धर्म। उसको कौन सा पैर है मालूम है आपको?
ऑन हिपोक्रेसी एंड
ट्रूथफुल।
अच्छा, ट्रूथफुलनेस, सॉरी।
सो ट्रूथफुलनेस पर ही खड़ा है धर्म। सो अगर ट्रूथफुल तो होना ही चाहिए, मूर्ख नहीं होना चाहिए, ट्रूथफुल होना चाहिए। हम लोग ट्रूथफुल में और मूर्ख में बहुत फर्क होता है, समझे बात को?
ट्रूथफुल में और
मूर्खता में बहुत फर्क होता है। वी शुड बी ट्रूथफुल, दैट डजंट मीन वी आर फुलिश। ट्रूथफुलनेस कम्स विद अ प्राइस, ठीक है ना? सो ट्रूथफुल होना ही चाहिए, कम से कम झूठ मत बोलो। We can do that at the most. If you're not truthful, at least don't lie. Okay, I believe in my principle in life कि अगर एक आदमी झूठ बोलता है तो वो कुछ भी कर सकता है, उसे किसी भी बारे में आपको विश्वास होगा ही नहीं क्या बोलेगा या क्या करेगा। एक बार झूठ बोला तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड, यू जस्ट क्रॉस, फॉरगेट अबाउट इट, डोंट वरी अबाउट इट। लोग झूठ, बड़े बड़े लोग झूठ बोलते हैं, बोलने दो, हमको इससे क्या है। सो ट्रूथफुलनेस, प्राण जाए वचन जाए, बहुत जरूरी है। But it doesn't mean you're foolish. Remember this. I understand it this way. I don't give promises to people. But if I give, I try to do. If I cannot do, now go and say, sorry, I could not do. Please excuse me. Forgive me. होता है। That is also called honesty. Is it not so?
Yes,
कभी कभी हम नहीं कर पाते प्रॉमिस किए हुई चीजें, बहुत कोशिश करने के बावजूद भी। So you can say, I tried it, but I didn't do it. ठीक है ना? This is called transparency and honesty. Krishna likes it. Yeah. But remember this, I told you, I'll elaborate it later on. इस पे सोचिए आप कि सच बोलना और मूर्खता में बहुत बड़ा फर्क है. लोग ये समझते हैं कि सच बोलने वाला आदमी मूर्ख होता है. उसे ये भी बोलो तो सच बोल देगा, उसको बोलो तो सच बोल देगा. हाँ, उनको मेरे सामने लाइए, मैं दिखाऊंगा सच क्या होता है. फिर सी, अगर हमने आप लोगों को कुछ सिखाया है जो सच नहीं है, तो आपका पूरा फंडामेंटल ही रॉन्ग हो गया ना.
करेक्ट.
इसीलिए सच बताना, सच बोलना, सच बताना बहुत जरूरी है. और वो सच तब बताना जब आपको वो आदमी पर विश्वास हो कि ये one has to be qualified. Of course, we speak truth to everybody, but your opinion is very important. याद रखना, सच बोलने वाले लोग बहुत कम मिलते हैं. और हर आदमी को सच बोलने वाला आदमी चाहिए, भले वो लोफर हो. जॉब इंटरव्यू में जाएंगे तो बॉस बोलेगा मुझे सच्चा आदमी चाहिए, और भले वो इतना हरामखोर हो, झूठ बोलने वाला हो, पैसा मारने वाला हो, whatever, but he wants a good employee. तो उसमें क्या किया जाए, वो भी इसका स्टाइल है, उसका भी सिस्टम होता है. ठीक है ना. तो मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ आपको कि मूर्ख मत बनिए. मैं जब ये I'll just give one small example, we are way about time, तो just keep it practical. मेरे पर्सनल एग्जांपल से बोलूँगा मैं कि जब मैं यहाँ पर न्यूजीलैंड में काम पे था, यहाँ पर सबसे बड़ी न्यूज़पेपर कंपनी थी, है, वहाँ पर मैं था सेल्स में. तो वहाँ पर मैं बताया कि ये फिगर्स बोलिए उनको, ये हमारा लीडरशिप फिगर्स ये है. सो मैंने बोला ये फिगर्स तो गलत फिगर्स हैं. तो नहीं, ये फिगर बोलिए आप. तो मेरा तो धर्म संकट हो गया ना. मैं झूठ कैसे बोल सकता हूँ? क्लाइंट्स ट्रस्ट मी, बिकॉज किसी को आपको झूठ बोलना है तो पहले उसको सच बताना पड़ेगा ना आपको. यू टू प्रूव कि मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ, तो ही विश्वास रखेगा ना वो. इफ यू टेल हिम मैं झूठ बोलने वाला हूँ, तो क्या विश्वास रखेगा वो आपको? तो ठीक है, मैं बोला उसको, बॉस को, मैं ये बोलूंगा कि मेरा बॉस, इसका नाम ये है, उसने ये बोला है कि ये फिगर है. नो प्रॉब्लम, आई टेल हिम. बोला चले यहाँ से. वो आदमी होने लगा. मतलब क्यों डरते हो तुम? You told me to say this, I'm telling you, I'll tell them. This is a figure my office has told me. So I actually went and told my clients, according to my office, these are the figures. He said, what is your opinion? I said, this is wrong figures. I told them. मैं तो मुँह पे बोलता था, ये गलत फिगर है. If you ask me this question. तो नौकरी आज ये का रेपुटेशन तो अपना जुदा अलग है ना भाई. आज वही क्लाइंट्स मेरे साथ हैं बिजनेस में ना.
Same incident happened too.
हाँ, very good. And I told this to my boss also in one of my क्या बोलते हैं उसको, end of the year professional performance review. So my boss said, Amrish, man, you're like 80, man. You are like this way, यही part Banchali. So I asked him this question. You tell me, if you are my client, would you like it or not? He said, yes, I would like it. So that's it then. The clients are giving me business, I'm achieving my targets. What are you worried about? Why do you want me to speak lies? He said, that's right. And even if I don't achieve my targets, I also always get bonuses. I never miss my bonuses. You will not believe this. Only for this one reason. And this is different country. Bharat ki baat hi nahi kar raha hu. And they would say, AD, we must give him. He's qualified. I may not achieve targets. They say, only this reason. That's simple as that. But be shrewd. Shrewd रहने में गलत नहीं है. और लोग समझते हैं सच बोलने वाला बेवकूफ आदमी है, तो दिखा दो उनको, निचोड़ के रख दो सच निकालने में. इतना आसान होता है क्या? मैं चलो ना पे सच बोलूंगा. अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम दिस इज व्हाट इज द आंसर. तो तुम जानो या यमराज जाने. मैंने ये इस्कॉन में भी बोला है. I told ISKCON head pujaris and all these people, तुम ये बोलते हो ना, गलत है ना, तो you have to represent Prabhupada, not me. I'm nobody here. Actually ऐसा डर गए वो लोग. ऐसा बहुत झूठ बोल रहे हो तुम. आप रिप्रेजेंट करोगे प्रभुपाद को और कृष्णा को, मैं नहीं करूंगा. I'm nobody here. Actually they get scared, so that's why they take away distance from me. That's why I'm doing a preaching program secretly. झूठ बोलने का क्या मतलब है? मारने वाले से रुको जी.
What about diplomatic and straightforward? मैंने प्रभुपाद का एक लेक्चर सुना था कि आप एकदम स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड रहो. और मैंने देखा कि मतलब मुझे इतना कॉन्फिडेंट नहीं था, क्योंकि मैं पहले काफी डिप्लोमेट रहा, इधर उधर घुमा घुमा के बातें करने वाला नेचर रहा। लेकिन अब एकदम क्लियर जब बात करो तो फिर मतलब मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था, तो फिर मुझे लगा नहीं यार थोड़ा डिप्लोमेटिक वे में बोल देता हूँ कि ये पहली ट्रिपल ट्रुथ हो जाए। लेकिन स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड बोलो तो फिर मुझे मेरे वाले बोलते थे यार तू मूर्ख है, तेरे को दिमाग नहीं है, तेरे को थोड़ा ऐसे घुमा के बोलना था ये बात को। तो उसमें क्या करना चाहिए प्रभु? चलिए ठीक है, सच बोलना एक है, बट स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड और डिप्लोमेसी, ये दोनों में हम कैसे फिर?
See, diplomacy. Now we should not lie. Is this answer for you? अब बोलो आप सच डिप्लोमेटिकली बोलो या डायरेक्टली बोलो, इनडायरेक्टली बोलो,
अच्छा
झूठ नहीं बोलना है। बात हो गई?
करेक्ट प्रभु जी।
कभी सच ऐसे बोल सकते हैं, वो आदमी डर जाएगा तो मैं ऐसे मत बोलो, ऐसे बोलो, कभी वैसे बोलो। हम बोलते हैं ना, जरा घुमा के मलम पट लगाकर थोड़ा सा सॉफ्ट ड्रिंक देकर फिर बोलते हैं सच। ऐसे होता है जीवन। किसी को अच्छा वो सीधा बोल देते ये ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए, ऐसा होना चाहिए, तो उनको ऐसा अच्छा लगता है, ओके ठीक है, बेस्ट है, राइट? सो दिस इज हाउ इट इज। और सच आदमी की परख रखना मेरे दोस्त, कोई सच्चा आदमी मिला तो छोड़ना नहीं। बहुत कम होते हैं सच बोलने वाले लोग, मुंह पर।
हाँ यस प्रभु।
और हमें वो लोग पसंद नहीं होते क्योंकि सच बोलते हैं, क्योंकि हम विकेट हैं अपने हार्ट में, ठीक है ना? अगर सच समझते हैं, इफ यू आर ऑनेस्ट वी लव ऑनेस्ट पीपल, इफ यू नॉट ऑनेस्ट वी डोंट लाइक ऑनेस्ट पीपल। उनका तेज अलग होता है ऑनेस्ट लोगों का। All of you, many of you starting your business and career, I'm telling you this, don't be dishonest, but don't give honesty. Honesty has to come at a price. Wait for the prize. Like we, last week में बता रहा था, we also are counselors. This is counseling session. What is Krishna consciousness got to do with this? So what is the price you are paying for us counseling you? We are giving you honesty, right? And what are you giving us in return? You are giving us something. What are you giving us? Sorry?
We are giving you loyalty and honesty.
Yes, that's what Avinash Prabhu told you. That's
Yes,
right. Loyalty. Even if you're not loyal, we'll still be honest with you. But I can guarantee you one thing, वो दिमाग में जाएगा नहीं बात, हृदय के अंदर तभी जाएगी वो बात when you are loyal. और अभी आदमी मिल जाता है honest तो छोड़ना नहीं। मैं तो नहीं छोड़, I don't keep trust on people so easily.
So what is the definition of loyalty?
Loyalty. Loyalty is loyalty. Definition क्या है उसमें? हिंदी में क्या होता है
From
loyalty?
your point of view, because फिर वो मेरे को मतलब I don't want to do Google and all such things.
No, loyalty का हिंदी में क्या शब्दांतर क्या है? Loyalty का?
वफादार प्रभु, that is
वफादार। वफादार। Full stop. और जब तक वफादार है, वफादार मतलब honestly डील करता है हमारे साथ. Let me put it this way. Honestly डील करता है हमारे साथ, more will come, nectar will come. ठीक है ना? सिंपल सी बात है. वफादार मतलब honestly डील करना उस पर. हमारा, and I can tell you this, once you are honest, these honest people will not stick with you. वो इधर उधर भागते रहेंगे, इधर उधर पिछुड़ जाएंगे वो लोग. हाथ में नहीं आएंगे वो लोग. सोप जैसे होते हैं ना, साबुन होता है, हाथ में नहीं आएंगे वो लोग, भाग जाएंगे वहां से फिर वो लोग. तो जाओ जयराम जी की, बे गुड फॉर यू. कृष्णा कॉन्शियसनेस फॉर एवरीबॉडी, डोंट वरी अबाउट दैट. हमारे लिए भी उनके लिए भी चेंज हो जाएंगे. वी आर नॉट समबडी ग्रेट, बट वी आर गुड. सो डिप्लोमेटिकली करना है आपको टू गिव द आंसर. आउटकम शुड बी ऑनेस्टी, whether you give it diplomatically or directly or indirectly. ठीक है ये बात समझ में आ गई प्रभु जी?
Yes, bro.
हाँ, this is the point. And do not be foolish. Honesty has to come at a price. And that's it. अगर मुझे भी नौकरी में, if they were not given me bonuses every year, I would have gone. I was there because they were giving me. Understand this point. I'm not foolish, and they know I'm not foolish. Yeah.
Correct.
Simple सी बात है, no problem. Everything comes at a price. And especially धर्म जो है, ये honesty पे चलता है. So people who are chanting Hare Krishna or devotees and they speak lies, they are not following dharma. They'll be 2 inches away from Krishna. Okay? ठीक है? All good? All right. Thank you. Please, others, please, I want to say something. Your realizations. Don't ask me to take your name. Kanchan, Suchi,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I have not prepared any sort of realization. However, I'm grateful to listening. I'm grateful to listen to all of the devotees' realization. It is some way or the other helping me out as well.
Sorry, I was not. I'm sorry. I was a little distracted with news and एक मैसेज पढ़ रहा था मैं. क्या बोले कंचन बताइए please.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I'll just repeat what I have said. I have not prepared any sort of realization. However, I was listening and it was an honor to listen to all the realizations that devotees have shared. And I was able to somewhere correlate with it also. And I am also learning things. I am in the process. So thank you so much for your association.
No problem.
Kindly excuse me for this time.
Wonderful. All the best. Devotees have given very nice realizations. Very nice you could correlate something, Good for you. And good for us. Okay. Shuchi, would you like to say something?
Yes, Prabhuji, I've not well articulated the realization, but yes, something I really want to say that as I am in this program and listen to every devotee and the way they say things and they quote their beautiful thoughts. My realization so far, as I'm a new person here, not been from so long, but as I've been in this systematic process, my uh, lifestyle has been simplified. I've quoted this before also, but now the lifestyle that I was living before has been simplified, not complicated. Like I just have quoted the auspiciousness thing that I've after this auspiciousness, the process has been simplified. And again, my realization when I was 2-3 days back, I was introspecting, and I realized that each year, each one devotee here, some people, some devotee are uh, self-driven, are doing their bhakti at the cost of all the things or the challenges that they have in their life. But I was fortunately has given by my family that you do your bhakti or you perform something, some spiritual or devotional service. Like they are very happy that I joined the class, and I, because they know I was not apart from bhakti. Like Krishna conscious is of course a new concept, but I have been like in a parampara. But still, as I say that, I really feel little sorry for myself that so much of time in my life I have just been doing things, but now coming to a systematic approach, I feel that, oh God, I wasted so much of time. Uh, but now the things are little palatable and little amazing for me. And as everybody say that they spare time, they face challenges, but they do. And I really feel very sorry for myself that after being in a good family, I have never been in this process, but due to the mercy of Lord, I have come to a point that I can now dedicate my time.
Very nice. Very nice. You are indeed very fortunate you are. The family is very kindly encouraging you to pursue this Krishna consciousness. Very nice. It's a very big advantage. Now make the most of it now, Dedicate.
Yeah, then it is a good responsibility over me that I should make it to the most.
Jai, Jai. Go back to Godhead, finish it off this year, this life only. You go back to Godhead.
Oh, definitely, I'll try. I'll
No,
try.
why not?
Yeah.
Just do it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. It's not for Nike. Prabhupada gave before Nike. Just do it. Prabhupada said it before Nike. Just do it. So I works for me.
Very,
Works is
very
for
naive I am. Very naive right now. I It's a big target I have to achieve, right?
Good. That's good. Good to have an art target, you know.
Yeah, good to have that.
Very nice. All the best. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Okay. Would Shaurya like to say something? Shaurya? Nice.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes. Edward, would you like to say something before we finish today's program?
No, Prabhuji. Today I have started a bit late and not very prepared.
No problem. That's okay. You keep talking to Namrata Mataji. You are in best. You are the
Yes.
best friend there, you know.
Yes.
All the best to you.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I know it's very late. Would Namrata Mataji want to say something? It's very late. She would be busy with the DT thing now.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry, Prabhuji. About the actually Rupali, she's really interesting to know all the things, and she's asking questions after our classes, and she's very she inquiring about all the Krishna consciousness, how we started and how she can do and everything. She comes with many questions, and nowadays because of her that I remember my days when I joined Namata, and then I used to ask lots of questions to Mataji, and every time she asked me question, I remember Mataji, because Mataji always guided me nicely. So I was last time when I was like, Prabhuji, we were discussing about the authorized person, how we should not give the advice without the authorized person. So I remember the day, previous days you used to broadcast the realizations of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, or their experiences with the Srila Prabhupada. And then I remember another experience. One of the Srila Prabhupada's disciples shared that he said other devotee asked him some question regarding I want to do marriage or something, and then the devotee who was speaking, he said the other devotee give him permission, okay, you can do it. But when the Srila Prabhupada come to know that how come he give a permission, he should ask me, because everyone has a different circumstances and different situation and all. And from that, what I realized that time is we should not give any advice without asking our authorized person. So that time, that was my realization. And then when we are learning something, we should seek the advice from the authorized person only. So whenever I'm giving answer to Rupali, I'm just thinking 10 times that should I tell her straight away or not? But anyways, Prabhuji, we are going to start the Mataji's class, and that will be a good platform for me to discuss with Mataji how we guide to our Marathi classes, devotees and all. So and that is my realization as well, Prabhuji. And thank you very much, Prabhuji, for giving us like opportunity to serve the new devotees. Like it's not, we don't have any capacity, especially me. Actually, my Prabhuji is doing hard work. I'm just supporting little bit here and there to him. And totally I don't have that capacity. Whenever I'm thinking about it, how they are approaching to us, then I always realize that how much efforts you and Amrish Prabhu and Mataji put for us. It's not easy job. It's not easy to teach anybody, and it's not easy that take a responsibility of the new person. So I'm sure there's many more coming to learn to us. So please bless us, Prabhuji, so we should not go the wrong as well. I hope the Srila Gurudev also have mercy. I actually pray Guru Maharaj that please give us a mercy, so we should not go to the wrong place. Like we should not do anything wrong, at least. So
Wonderful.
Thank
All
you,
the best.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, all the best. I cannot bless anybody, but I've always prayed for you people when you started the program to Guru Maharaj. Blessing is the jurisdiction of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev, and all people's acharyas and senior Vaishnavas. I'm just an ordinary devotee, struggling myself and encouraging everyone, to go back to Godhead. And that's it. Simple. Okay. Thank you, Hare Krishna. Sopan Prabhu, तुम्हाला बोलायचं आहे का Sopan Prabhu? You want to say something? I don't know if he's there. He must be cooking, busy with it. I think he was busy. All right, we are way over time today. I think we should start a bit early then. In that case, next time for realizations, it's gone for 3. We started a bit late as well, but I think we start a bit early. What do you guys think? We should start realization programs a bit early, at least half an hour early. All right. Okay, let me think about this. All right. Now we know it's going to be late. Either we start early or we finish real late on that day, knowing that it's going to be late.
Unless you'd like to split it over 2 weeks or something.
Yeah, I was also thinking we can have 2 sessions instead of 1, if because then that way everyone gets the opportunity also.
Yeah, it's a good thing, but the mood is there, because it starts very slow, That's why I speak so many things. I give this example, I give a story to keep everybody rolling, and then it starts to roll, And when it rolls, it doesn't stop. It always happens like this. So every 2 sessions is going to be the same thing. Everybody's going to go so slow, and a few people will speak, and then it dies down, and then you encourage, and then grows, and then So it'll be 2 times how to do. How to find out more stories then, Then ye zindagi, ye jo hai zindagi, and all nonsense has to come out, So I think we'll keep it for 1, which we're doing, and now once every 4 weeks is good enough, because we have got other scriptural injections to be spoken in discussion. So we're doing something different, you'll know. All right, wonderful. Now whose turn is it today to sing? It's Navina's turn. Hooray, there she is. Navina, you can't go to school still. My God, it's so sad.
I hate that.
You hate that. It's for your own good though. Your father will tell you. Follow your father and mother, okay?
That's Subhadra's turn today, Navina.
It's Subhadra's turn. Goodness me. Okay. Hare Krishna Subhadra, all ready. Very nice. Madhav bhi hai. You also going to do it, huh, Madhav? Very nice. All the best to you. Okay, let's start. 1, 2, 3, start.
Maharaj, please hear us. Maharaj, please hear us. We have learned some real good stuff. We have learned some real good stuff. Maharaj, we have learned one thing. And today for you we will sing. And today for you we will sing. If our room is clean, if our room is clean, then our mind is clean, then our mind is clean. If our mind is clean, if our mind is clean, we can do anything. We can do anything. If our room is dirty, if our room is dirty, then so are we. Then so are we. We are dirty, and if we are dirty, then we are not happy. Wasting time is the greatest crime. It's the greatest crime. Because wasted time means a wasted life. Means a wasted mind. The best is your time. The best is your time. When you're in your prime. In your heart. In your whole life will be sublime. Will be sublime. If your wealth is gone, then there is nothing. Then there is nothing. If your health is gone, if your health is gone, that's a different song. That's a different song. So if your character die, but if your character die, then the world will cry. Then the world will cry. Only saintly behavior. Only saintly behavior. That's a melody humanity try. Let humanity cry. Krishna. We must always remember Krishna and never forget him too. And never forget him too. But how are we to practice this with so many things to do? But how are we to practice this with so many things to do? That is the greatest question. That is the greatest question. Here's your greatest clue. And here's the greatest clue. You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you. You must learn to work so nicely that Krishna remembers you. So listen very closely. So listen very closely. And make your thinking sharp. And make your thinking sharp. Let's learn how we can listen so Krishna won't depart. Let's learn how we can remember so Krishna won't depart. If something comes tomorrow, if something's due tomorrow, finish it today, finish it today. Whatever's due today, whatever's due today. Do it now, don't delay. Do it now, don't delay. Your friends might be lazy. Your friends might be lazy. Or doing bad things. Or doing bad things. But you think again. But you think again. Don't follow them. Don't follow them. In the end, and you will win the end. Whatever will be given, whatever will be given, we do our really best. We do our very best. We only live with what we need and Krishna the rest. We only live with what we need and give Krishna the rest. This is how to live, to work and to play. If you learn this way, you'll see Krishna every day. This is how to live. Play. You learn to live this way, you will see Krishna every day. When our time is up, you take us up above. So singing that and when our time is up, you take us up above. And the singing that with the heart full of love. So chant Krishna's name, holy and is the only art of world. Can never be contained. The chant Krishna's name, it's always in the stream. It's the holy and it's can never be contained. We must now please ask this greatest question. Ask this greatest question and find this greatest clue. And find this greatest clue. You can only remember Krishna. You can only remember Krishna. If Krishna remembers you. If Krishna remembers you. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Jai. His Holiness Srila Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj, Srila Gurudev ki Jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Chandra Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Namo Bhutale Srimati Mahavishnu Goswami Namine. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasad Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaur Vani Prasad and Nirvishesha Shunvari Prasad. Hare Krishna. So, well, thank you very much to our program today. A very good long discussion is completed today. And we'll see you next week, same place, same time, Krishna willing. Till then, chant Hare Krishna and be happy.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Bhajan.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.